did he think?
Oh, he liked it.
Yeah.
Happy Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout.
Hey, Trev.
Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Eric popping by for a bit as Shawn Belle will be here on the Hangout, which is presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. Usually grab a Mott's.
Do I still get one? Yes. I mean, I'm only in for a...
You can do whatever you want.
I'd love one. I'd kill
flavor?
one. Give me the green, the bean.
The
Is
pickled
it the
bean.
Pickled bean, yeah.
Pickled bean. It
I love
is. Mott's Clamato Caesars available, both original variety, 12 packs. 400 million cans crushed by Canadians every
400
single
million?
Year. That's what I've been told.
It's a rough estimate.
We just absolutely crush Mott's Clamato Caesars.
Half of them here by Troy.
A quarter by you on the Hangout.
Exactly. Yeah,
and the other quarter,
damn proud of it though.
You gently shake those things.
Gently?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you want to shake them too hard.
Give it a little of this.
I gave it a small shake.
Yeah.
Well, how was the mornings today?
Morning was great today.
Yeah.
Of course, your new schedule.
It
You're kind of more of a 9 to 5
wonderful.
guy.
He did his hair.
Coming in. Now I could shower properly and do my hair
he was
properly.
smiling. He gave us a wave.
What?
Like totally different.
No way.
Night and day.
Because I'm
want
coming in feeling good. I'm not as tired and
Well done, Matthew.
it's my normal.
You
life.
love the drag of the commute. You're like everybody else driving and getting in the.
It's wasn't even that
Nope.
bad.
It wasn't even that bad.
No, there was one person that was tailgating me.
Of course.
They
Like
do
she
that.
came
Welcome back.
right on my back for no reason.
Yeah, they do that.
Were you in the right lane though? Hey, it was that you were.
I was in the right lane, but
Okay,
it was
well,
this is regular like normal residential type
That's a
streets.
little weird.
Like 2 streets. This was I don't get touch freeways or big roads like that.
Yeah.
And she's just right on my.
Yeah, there's some absolutely pathetically bad drivers in our city, especially
Give your head a shake.
in rush hour.
No, it was.
So you're back.
You know what's great? Well, I'm back
you
on the
are
morning show
so
on
back.
Monday.
No, but not back in the morning. But like Matthew, I want to because we know you.
It's getting more normal. It was great though because I woke up, threw you guys on my speaker.
There you go.
On my tune-in and
Easy as.
threw that on, got ready, went in my car, threw it on my car through tune-in.
Yeah.
It was very easy, very simple. I got to experience it that way for the first time.
You among thousands of others.
We've been doing 2.5 months of this, and I haven't been able to really drive around listening to us.
And who would have
too
thought the
much.
first time you're listening
And
to Dry
morning
Settle
show.
Trade Proposals?
Actually, I didn't get those.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I got 3 questions.
Because boy, are we getting some.
But it was wonderful because it was the first time it felt like normal since we got let go at 12:60.
Well, you'd been nice to
because
text
now
in
I got to
from you.
drive in and listening to our morning show for the first time in 5 months or whatever it was, and it was lovely.
You seem fulfilled.
It was
Very happy.
I am.
You can feel it.
I am.
You
Yeah,
can't wipe
there's
the smile off his face.
There's a
Started
vibe
doing some
emanating
work.
off of you.
Yeah.
Got the first drop off of Nasty Club stuff.
Ooh.
I thought we were actually getting more of it on this drop off.
Yeah.
So now it's actually might be an extra day or two to everyone there.
Don't let it shake you.
No, but I
ain't getting
emailed
it.
people. It was like, no later than early next week he'll be here, like ready for pickup.
Yeah.
And I'm now like today the package was 1 box. I'm like, that's not going to fit.
I think you still have some leeway though. As a one-man job of getting all of this stuff combined. I think people can.
I did the email. I should have waited for the email until
yeah.
yesterday till I got.
Bit off
But
your
lanyards
wage.
are in, so we got lanyards, which I'm very excited about. Those have come in.
They look nice.
Yeah, they look like bang up job. Thanks to the Hive for getting that done for us. It's going to be a busy week as I'm building out the Nasty Club cards.
I saw that
I'm
yesterday.
working on that.
Those
I'm
are gonna be
struggling
fun.
with
Laminator.
Those are gonna be-
I tried the
exactly.
laminator. I've never laminated
EST
something before.
laminator.
It was great.
Everything
if you
will
guys
be
ever
laminated
need something
now.
laminated, we've got it covered here.
It's the lamination
We're
that's
ready.
making them. It's the regular schedule, whatever. It's the
He's
laminating
like-
machine that.
I'm like,
might-
when did you get a laminator? He's like, I found a great deal on
great
Amazon.
deal.
It was 40% off on Amazon.
Watch,
It was
I've been
awesome.
tracking this for months. I finally
Pulled the trigger.
Pulled the trigger on the right deal. And
I might get in the laminating business.
okay,
Look at this guy.
hey,
I might move out of this and go to the laminating business.
you do whatever
Make your
your
own
heart
t-shirts and
desires.
laminate stuff.
I'm just enjoying the pep in your step. This is great.
It's remarkable.
It really.
very
He
different.
did his hair today. All that good stuff.
So and you know what's something? Thursday morning, I'm doing the morning show with you guys. So it's only one day this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel good that day because it's only a 1 day thing.
Yeah, it's a one-off. Very more,
And I
yeah.
think next week I'm doing it twice. Looking at the schedule, I got to talk to Trev about that, and it's just gonna feel. It's just gonna.
Trev's
feel
been
better.
crushing it too, by the way. You guys have been a dynamic duo. I have
He's
to
like
say.
a defensive back. You're not mentioning too much because he's not making the.
Right.
He's a steady hand back there, and a good. He laughs at everything we say.
He does.
That's the best part. It's even when it's not funny.
I
most of the
mocked
time.
him for looking like Super Mario yesterday.
He's changed though. He too has gotten back to his old self.
Has he?
Yeah,
Okay,
I did.
good.
But that hair yesterday was.
Was
we need to
something
see
else.
the driver's license picture that he eventually went and got.
He said that the lady
I
that
just-
took it at the registry looked at him and was like, "Are you sure?"
She gave him a right. Like
Yeah.
you can refuse. You can step back and redo this.
We can
if you
redo
want.
this. You can do your hair. And he's like, he looked at it. He's like, no, that's good. And he had a big cheesy grin. And he had like the bangs where it was cut by a number 3 bowl. And,
Just a bit of a sheer job.
he's rolling with it. He's like, that's perfect. So
Because you saw him, he returned pre and post obviously
Correct.
last night. How was that? I mean, everybody was tempered and.
let's wrap up with YouTube Trev and how he was post.
Oh, jeez.
All those good vibes going into the registry, getting his photo done, a cheesy picture with the greasy stash and the bad haircut, looking like Mario. He was a mess last
Well,
night.
Oilers are 2 up. He must have been. I mean, that
and
too.
then
He was
3-2,
feeling good,
yeah.
and it's
2 up back-to-back games.
Yeah.
He must have been feeling good both those
He
times.
was-
And then
He was not happy. He did a little prayer. I let him simmer down for a good 50 minutes of the show. Cass and I took texts. and
you don't let that simmer. You put the mic right on that, and
you
you
know
go.
what?
Go, dude.
a little stir.
That's how we got it with
stir.
Latino Heat with Hernan.
I was just gonna say.
go and see what happens.
Oh, I was texting with the Latino Heat last night, and he was a spicy meatball for sure.
Is he still very mad, or is he kind of is that anger kind of
Actually, that's
No, he's mad.
How's the,
subsiding into
how was the nasty chat today in the Paris Jewelers inbox? Are people just coming to the realization that this team's not going to go anywhere this year? Or are the people still really frustrated?
There's been a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of realization, I think, today, and I think again this trip. I think, given the state of the team right now, you were like, well, like I 2-1-1 was. I think you and I we had some prognostications prior to the weekend. Yeah, I do want to win fair or whatever.
Yesterday on the oil stream, I lower the bar once more, and I said 2-2.
But that's how low
Yeah.
can you lower
You
the
can't
bar?
go lower than that on this trip.
2 goal leads now against 2 teams again Tampa. We said too we're playing maybe the best hockey thus far this season. Panthers have been hot.
Florida's
but,
good
but you
team.
had them.
Yeah.
Florida's a good team.
You had 'em, you're right.
But Edmonton's supposed to be considered in that echelon too, and they're not right now. They haven't beaten good teams. So I think this morning, to answer your question, I mean, it was hot, it was reactive, but it was also now, and as Dusty pointed out, you fired the coach.
Yeah.
Well, what's next? What's the next pound of flesh? And it's a deal.
Well,
It's some sort of trade.
I don't know.
Because but what do you do?
Because I will say this. I think there's a point where you just go, we're
This is
on to
it.
next season.
Yeah.
We can't do anything this year. We're not going to make a panic move.
And that's the thing,
That
panic.
might hurt
Yeah.
long term.
They're going to get fleeced in a deal.
They're going to get freezing.
Easily, yeah.
And it's one of those, I think the next move might be no move, where it's, we will just go with this season as is.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. But realistically, on to next year. Not going to trade that first round
Yeah.
pick unless you're finding that top goalie that you could trade it for, that you all sit there and go, you want to know something? That is a true number 1 that you could bring in. That's worthy of giving up a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Trading the first takes on a different form now, though, that we talked about beginning of the season.
Yes.
You're kind of,
I brought it up last, I think starting, when did Quinn and Tom Vernon come on? I think that was
Last week?
Last week.
Yeah.
I started with them, and that first round is now out of the question. You can't.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's now more.
but at a totally different plane, which
Yes.
you don't want to be doing. And
At
I'm
the
with you. I
start of
don't
the
want
year,
a panic move.
We
but-
said first round pick's gone.
Yeah.
Deadline, it's gone for something. Now we can't say that because it's now become. I don't know if I would say. Well, it's become more valuable as an asset.
Sure.
That it's hard to move on because there's now the unknown of, okay, that's not going to be pick 25, 26, 27, whatever. It might be pick 1 through 10.
Yep.
And that's a big deal. So,
But Leon Draisaitl's name mentioned in perhaps and again, this going off of, well, is this done? Are people like coming to the realization? You come to that realization, and then you're looking at, well, this guy's going to want out. This guy wants it, and that's where kind of the talk goes. So I know Dusty kind of brought up a trade scenario in which you're getting like a vet 3C or something, like not a big home run splash, but a good on base double or something like that. But again, to make a deal right now with this teamwork and the cap constraints, I don't see what. And as you say, there's no team out there that's
You're
gonna.
getting killed.
We'll engage in a fair dance here. It's not happening.
No, you're getting dipped and taken home.
Yeah,
They're taking
and
advantage
I'm kind of with you. The panic, you avoid the panic at this point.
It's
and you don't know who's making that deal, right? Like
that's a good point, too.
I think that actually might be the next move. The Oilers making the move and trying to figure out, okay, who's the next general manager of this team?
Set the table up.
Start the interviews, maybe. Start having the conversations. Start requesting permission from teams if you need to go outside, whatever it might be. But that might be the next move where it's, we're going to put, if I'm, Jeff Jackson, we're going to put the guy in place that is the next guy to carry this team into the summer.
Start. This is a bad team full of good players.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anger.
So what happened? How did it go from...
I think a calamity of errors all at once. It just chipped away at what was a pretty solid
After a
solid
historic
structure.
season, one for the books in multiple facets and regards and numbers.
Yeah. And then the other thing I would say too is now anger is starting to turn to acceptance. And Maddie, you make a good point. Like, fans want to salvage the season. They want this team to win all the time, as they should. And I admire that. But we're teetering on the brink of, okay, start looking ahead to next year for sure. Absolutely. Now, how do you go about doing that? Well, if you're still looking to improve your team, you're not just sitting on your hands the rest of the year going, well, we're not touching this team. We're gonna reload for the next 60 odd games or whatever. No, if you're gonna tinker, you're gonna make the right moves, try to improve here and there, search out, do all your due diligence to make sure you can still make this team better right now. Who knows what can happen, but it's looking lost, obviously. And then, what happened? It was just like one thing after another, and it started rolling down the hill. And now this snowball is a giant mass that's got momentum and is not stopping down a double black diamond.
It's multiple things. There's no right answer. There's no, aha, we figured it out.
Right.
And again, I point to historic numbers like power play not getting McDavid and Draisaitl and healthy, like all of those things leading there and masking other things. Goaltending, again, I've said it's good. But it'd be nice if it was great too.
Yeah.
To kind of steal one here or there. I mean, it's not going to save the season either. But in terms of a trade, and I think people were leaning this way, and maybe not this season in doing a Draisaitl trade, but looking forward, people were saying, well, if there's that chip that can really make a move and really shake things up. I mean, adding a 3C vet that could help maybe today. But to really change the makeup of this team, you're looking at that big home run deal during the offseason or whatever. And that's where people this morning were kind of coming from, not so much in this season, but a looking forward, not too far down the line. But if you're still feeling this is a window, you move one of those chips. And I think that's always been an underlying thought for some people, that when or if this goes off the rails, there's always 29 you could parlay to bring all these other things and dress everything up and really fill in the cracks.
Sure. I
not saying that's right, but that's a
true.
thought out there.
Right, and that's a good point at the end. Not saying that it's right, but it is a thought out there. We're seeing it more and more. You guys saw it this morning. We saw it yesterday. We saw it on the post-game show. I personally don't like it. I personally would not do it. I personally, if I was at the helm of this team, clearly I'm not. I'm just sharing my opinion.
The fact you're talking about it here, though, today, that's the indictment on everything.
Yeah.
Leading up to today.
And I think the natural impulse is to look at that more and more because you're like, oh, this is a mess.
It's tempting, right?
But there is also precedent from other teams to not blow it up, so to speak, and to regroup the next season. Yes, you make those little moves here and there. You tinker with what should be a good team, and then they go back into the next year and make a run, a la the Vegas Golden Knights.
But as you mentioned, if we don't know who's directing this thing,
that's why I think it might be then the next move if you're on to next season. Because look, I don't agree in trading Leon Draisaitl.
Sure,
you sign him, you keep him around. Yes. You are a better hockey team.
Great hockey player.
But if you want to trade him, you do those talks need to start happening through the season.
If he tells you I'm not signing here, then
I believe that if he's not willing to sign in the summer, you do have to. You can't go into next year with him on a contract.
But I don't think he's going to say that to them. Right. I think he'd rather stay.
But it's right now you lay those groundwork to make a deal, so you don't panic Larson Hall 1-for-1 type deal.
Yeah.
You have it ready because what did Shirley say? Or it was rumored that some teams didn't even know he was shopping Hall.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're moving away from Leon Draisaitl. All 31 teams need to know Leon Draisaitl is up for grabs, so you get the best package available. Again, though,
this is hypothetical.
I don't agree with the trade for that because
and will the package ever be? That's the thing. But you get the biggest.
I'll go to
possible,
not the same level in terms of sport or anything. But I remember when Ricky Ray was last few years with the at the time Eskimos, and how many people ripped Ricky Ray? How many people were all over him? And this guy, get rid of this guy, move on from this guy.
Yeah, nobody liked Ray.
It was because the O-line was crap in front of him, and there was other problems with this team. And then he goes away, and people are upset because they're like, look at this package, it's awful, and who's going to be our quarterback? Steven Giles. And then people was like, if Leon Draisaitl gets traded on June 13th or whatever it might be, immediately people are going to regret that.
You may want it today, but you'll
tell you you're going to regret that trade if you trade away Leon Draisaitl. Because also, I do believe that the Draisaitl contract, or whether he stays or doesn't with this team, is going to severely impact whether Connor McDavid stays or not with this team.
Of course.
Yeah.
if Leon goes, now you've now opened the doorway for Connor to be like, if you'd like to leave, there's the door. Because he's going to sit there and go, there's my buddy that's gone. You're now, what are you doing with this team? Like, I don't know.
That would
He's
again,
frustrated right now.
hypothetically.
And I don't think why, if you then move Leon Draisaitl, that's not going to add to the frustration of Connor, who then's going to sit there and be like, my contract's up soon too.
Yeah.
So Connor Brown in and a Draisaitl out doesn't do it for you in that regard in keeping Connor happy. I jest.
Again, all of this conversation is a hypothetical, but yes, Maddie, you make a good point. Is like, if you essentially turn your back on 29 at some point in the near future, well, 97 is going to be pissed off. And like you said, you've basically rolled out the red carpet, opened the door, and said, if you'd like to, there it is.
Door's open for you.
And I've seen some texts. I've seen some media and analysts, say this duo is never going to win. I don't believe that. I think they still could.
It's a hot take to say.
Yeah, it is a hot take.
But I mean, they should.
I don't believe it for a second. Washington, Backstrom, and Ovechkin took them forever.
Give me the Oilers last year with better goaltending.
Yeah.
And what do they do in the playoffs last year?
Maybe they go to the Cup final.
Right? Like, they've been that close. And you can't blame Connor and Leon for the fact that it's on them in some way that they blew every lead in that series against the Golden Knights.
But when so much has been expected of them, again, we go to the regular season and what they did. I mean, that's they're playing to a degree which isn't sustainable, and then they don't anymore, and here we are.
But they were outstanding in the playoffs too.
Oh yeah,
the last 2 years.
But
Draisaitl didn't get past in goals until the Stanley Cup final.
It's not just them, right? And it's the team makeup in that regard. And
in the end, like, I also look at this season and go, okay, Connor, not healthy. Matthias Ekholm, I now go back to, he wasn't healthy. At the start, he got hurt. Except I don't know if he'd do anything.
Yeah, good point.
If he was fully healthy type thing.
Yeah, so, Mark?
Well,
not healthy.
There's a difference. I'm just kidding. That he was the second most important top six guy. We're
what would have happened now if Connor and Matthias Ekholm, I think, is now such a crucial injury looking back on, in that, the Oilers underplayed it. It looks like throughout training camp they underplayed.
Yeah, they did.
What happened to him, and they underplayed it all. But in the end, we talked about how important he was to this team in changing the defensive makeup once he came last year at the deadline. And we're all going, well, I'll give the Oilers 82 games with Matthias Ekholm. And instead, game one, he's already banged up.
Well,
or he missed game one.
Minus game one.
Right?
Minus
so
2 weeks into game one.
It's
for game one.
Man, and then that's just everything snowballed from there.
And I have time for Sam Gagner, and he's a fun figure in this market. But the fact that he too is finding himself where he is, and not do again, full credit to him. He's worked his butt off to get where he is.
Yes.
But you mentioned, injuries and we talk roster makeup. The fact that he's starting top line here, and we're not even, again, I say American Thanksgiving, but it's
and then a week later he's a healthy scratch.
It's a pretty big flop look.
Yeah.
For that roster. No offense to Sam.
No, none.
Matt Cassian saying in the nasty chat, should have traded Broberg last year when there still was value there.
Well,
that's valid.
Yeah.
And Cass and I, we've discussed, and I think it still ends up going down that road at some point this season. With Ekholm, you want to talk about like the mixed signals that were being sent. I understand the brave face or the front that the Oilers put up. Jay Woodcroft calling it a hip flexor when he updated us. And then
it was groin afterwards.
Ekholm, when he talked to us, said it was groin, and we're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Same area, guys.
Close enough.
Well, one's over here, and the other's.
But it's all lower body.
It's all LBI.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all there.
Oh, I've got a bad right knee, but my left ankle is also effed up.
Lower body issues.
LBI. I want to get to the text line 780-218-9999. Like
Paris Jewelers Inbox.
Yeah, Paris Jewelers Inbox. Thank you, Matthew.
Great people.
Yes, they are.
Very easy to deal with. I'll leave it at that.
How's your Manchester United watch clock?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is nice. It's super nice.
Keeps time.
Keeps time.
Yeah. There's some joke in here that I'll try to find by the end of the Hangout.
There's some Fergie time joke or something.
It's a great accent in his place. This text from Cozy says, "Hey Tommy, Friedman kind of mentioned that players with no movement clauses don't want to come to Edmonton. I think that's crazy. That even with McDavid and Dry, players don't want to come here. What are you hearing about that, Cozy?" Not surprised.
Edmonton historically hasn't been a team.
It has a bad
players
rap.
want to come.
Yeah, it still has. It's not a sexy destination by any means.
Northernmost market,
Northernmost
travel-wise.
market,
I mean, it's
tough fan base when things aren't good, obviously. And this is, this is part of the deal. This is a city that's seen success. It's seen the depths of the worst decade in hockey in some time too.
But there is that opportunity of winning.
There is,
And that in those markets such as that, I think that's the.
But for some guys, Eric, that
important.
doesn't change
Nope,
things.
absolutely.
They want to go out there for 82, spin around, look nice, get photos taken, score a few goals, and make a few million a year. And then when the season's over, if they make the playoffs or not, they don't really care, and they'll go into their summer homes and do their thing. That is true, and there is a perception issue about how things are run here. Even in the McDavid era, I will say that who's in charge, how meddling is the owner. Those are issues that I have been told from players, management types, coaches from other teams around the league in the last decade.
And if you were looking for your craft, would you want to go into a situation such as that in any type of business where you don't know who's kind of calling the shots? And
Just on that, if you're now a player, like winning does mask a lot of things. The Oilers are close to being a cup contender last year. Players are going to start looking maybe, I'd go there. I can maybe win.
Yeah.
But then you go through this season, you see the press conference with Jeff Jackson, Ken Holland, Paul Coffey, Chris Knobloch, and you sit there and you go, if you're a player going, they are still dysfunctional.
Optics,
They
man.
still are a mess. Yeah. That's not an organization I want to uproot my family to go play for. I'm good. And that's, I think, going to turn some players off again, is that for a few years, the Oilers start getting away from that dysfunction. It looked like from the outside looking in, hockey ops wise, it looked like they were starting to figure it out. The owner was less involved. Things were getting better. And then all of a sudden, somehow last year, Paul Coffey starts being around this team again. And now everything is what it is right now. And you're going, oh boy. And if I'm a player that has that no move clause, and before I was on the edge about the Oilers, now I'm going, they're not figuring this out.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. And I'll cap off my thought on this with one more point. It's the Oilers aren't unique in this. There are other organizations. Montreal has become one of those types of markets. We're watching it with Calgary right now. Toronto, when they're not winning, can be the same. Buffalo, Buffalo's had a lot of doldrums over the last 12, 13 years. So Edmonton is not unique in that.
But if you can be the one to deliver in one of those places,
then you're a god.
I mean, you won't be a god in any of the other markets that aren't mentioned in that conversation.
Toronto, absolutely. I think Buffalo is a great hockey city too.
Yeah,
it's very Edmonton-esque.
But we're veered in such here that if you do something or pull something off, and
a smaller city type thing,
it's
crazy
always the
fan
half and
base.
half. Yeah. It's
that to me. I look at Buffalo and I see Edmonton. Kind of
Edmonton is a nicer, more cosmopolitan city than Buffalo. Yes, very much so. But in regard to passion for sport and hockey, especially, yes, Buffalo is excellent. It's right there on the border, so it's like a Canada Light type city.
Yeah,
a la Detroit.
Leafs fans go for the games.
They do. They have season tickets.
Might as well, yeah,
because they can't get Leafs season tickets.
Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Eric Holt. Lieutenant Eric, however you want to refer to him, here on the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. How was having Dusty back, by the way? He gave you a hug. He just gave me a fist bump. I don't know what that means.
He didn't give me a hug. He told me the Matt Dunnigan story, though, earlier today.
Was it good?
It's pretty good. It wasn't like anything out there, but Dusty crafts a good yarn.
Yeah.
And the way he told it to me was good. And I mean, it was nothing short. He did end it. He goes, who needs a steak dinner when you can, have a good night with Matt Dunnigan late in the evening and
he's supposed to
get into it.
I don't know if he wanted into our league, the junior, he was going to have to get us that steak dinner, but I don't think that's going to happen now because I don't think he says he doesn't want it in our league. So when the commish goes to the 10th team, announces that, and we open up expansion in the junior, it doesn't seem like Dusty's going to be high on that list.
We'll be in Quebec City first.
He's made some comments,
right?
And
that's talks too much.
That's 6-team league, and also we'll be a 5-team league. And are they going to be that much better? Really? We don't. You have to play a quarterback in our league.
I think they'll have to expand to Winnipeg sooner than later. Right? If you know what I mean. I could see it happening.
Yeah. Well, we got championship patches in. I don't know what they do for their league. Championship patch that was in for Lucas and San Antonio Texans.
If we could only tell the story behind that.
No, let's not go there.
Well, Dave would have to. We'd have to have J-Mo in for a hangout.
J-Mo's in tomorrow, by the way, on the Hangout.
Well, maybe we could squeeze the
him and Cash. Cash, who won the chance to join the Hangout. We had our EST party at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
Yes, and
Cash will be in tomorrow.
Who by chance saw us in a Boston pizza the day we got canned.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And came over and kind of commiserated with us. Yeah.
He was going through some health stuff.
He had a rough day. We had a rough
that's kind
day.
of why he's actually coming in tomorrow. Is he wanted to come in November to talk about
Men's
health and what he's gone through.
Yeah.
And I reached out to JMO, who's obviously gone through his issues with cancer and stuff. And I said, hey, would you want to come in too, JMO? To we'll talk sports. We've got 2 hours, but we'll spend some time looking at the importance of awareness to men's health and things.
Yeah.
And JMO's like, I'm honored. So JMO's going to be here tomorrow, which is going to be
It's how the universe works.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, that's lined up really well.
So we'll have them and
And then YouTube Trev will just smile in the camera for half the show with his mustache for Movember. It's
I
all
mean,
one neat little
Yeah,
package.
actually, that's right. You
with
can get
the
him in
same
on there
goal.
on that one as well.
Awareness.
Let's go in the stash. The mo, as they say.
is that what they say?
I don't know.
The
Have you
mo.
ever had a mustache? You can grow one here.
It won't grow well.
Yeah, but you're
What?
5 o'clock shadow. What do you mean?
No.
You shaved
It won't
this
come
morning
in
and you're
properly.
coming back in.
I gave
and-
it Sunday morning. I trimmed off.
We need a
but
bit of
now I need to
mustache.
do it
I
every
need
so
you to
often.
do a
I don't
mustache.
want-
Come on.
No, we did it for Movember once. Or
Did
we
you?
attempted
Did
to
you
do
actually
it
have one?
1260 and like nothing grows. It's Nugent Hopkins-esque, I would say.
I don't think so there.
Yeah, it doesn't like it's not.
No, it's more significant.
It is.
Nuges
yeah.
is.
Nuges.
Yeah,
You
it
can
won't-
count
like
the
nothing.
hairs, right? Like,
It's not worth trying.
give
Straight
it a
up.
shot.
No.
We can do whatever we want.
We can. I can do whatever I want with my body, Eric. I absolutely can, and that I'm not going to
is
do.
happening?
So
It's a
now I
mustache.
will. Again, going back to the start of me doing, I'll be able to just trim this up a little sooner each week. Life's good for me.
Oh.
Life's really good for me.
Yeah,
now.
I believe
I'm
it.
very chipper today.
Yeah,
You are
Yeah.
chipper.
You haven't stopped smiling.
I know.
He doesn't stop smiling at all.
It's great.
Not one clamato down
The
here.
only problem is that like I can't talk to you guys when
I
I
know.
first get in. Like you guys are doing your show, there's no break, so
Well,
I
you still
can't.
feel free. We can do whatever we want. You can just.
I'm
Actually,
not
that's
going to just stop you guys and have a
Why not?
5-minute chat and be like, "Hey, Dusty, tell me about Craig Cup."
It'd be an interesting bit because nobody would know when it's happening. Oh, man, you
Just
want to
random comes.
And we give you a little applause and you come and you say, hey, how was the commute? And quick weather update, how's it going? And then you go about your day. And it's a 2-minute slap and tickle in and out. And nobody knows, right? It's like the.
I don't get to talk to Dusty today till after 1 o'clock, basically.
That's sad.
It's going to be, but I'm here all afternoon now. So I got to talk to Dusty.
Well-
I'll lead up his time and have some nice chats.
Boston pizza tomorrow?
I will make an appearance at Boston Pizza tomorrow. Yes.
I'll save you a seat.
I will have.
That's going to be fun.
we
I
had a
love that
fun
it's whole
time.
happy hour.
We had a fun time yesterday, too.
Oh, we did. Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge,
Big-
Central Casino
the
Fort
big
Road, where
giveaway.
every day is game day. We gave away Tony with the big win last night. He's off to Los Angeles to catch the Rams and the Browns.
Basement Frank with the squareboard win.
Basement Frank with the scoreboard win.
What
Good
was
seeing
on the
him again.
board yesterday?
For the a jersey, Stafford
Rams jersey.
Oh, sick.
Great night. Thank you to Renee, future EST Hangout guest as well.
Yeah, I didn't talk to her about that yesterday.
Man, can she host a party? But Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at Central Casino Fort Road, the old Yuck Yucks. Great place to go to watch any game you want. They got the off-track betting, the ponies, the Caliente Greyhounds are always around the corner.
I love your videos
Always.
to pump it up and promote it.
It's great because. And then last night, old Rob, well, he comes up to us after the game. He goes, $20 bill. I'd love for you guys to put it on the roulette table.
Really?
And I was like, okay, so we
And we're going to split it 3 ways.
Yeah, so I
Did we
trusted
win?
Maddie with it. Well,
I put it on 3 numbers and we lost. And it was actually a weird one because do you know
it was
like when they spin the roulette, like the ball takes a
Yeah.
little time to get on a spot. This time it just landed.
Oh, yeah, it was like a
it
dead-
spun a little bit and then just boop 33 black. And it's
Weighted ball.
Oh, okay. That
Someone
was
get the
pretty
ball
quick.
boss in there.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
look at
usually
that.
like
Respin.
it goes a little longer and
Yeah.
it bounces around a bit. This time it like bounced once, landed in 33 and just stayed.
Ocean's
And
20.
We lost. I felt bad.
That was $20, but what a thrill it was.
What?
And that's
It
the
was
magic
great.
you can
What
have
do
at
you
Central
feel
Casino
bad about?
Sports Bar and
Well,
Lounge.
because I
Central
lost
Casino
money
Fort Road.
for Rob. And
Yeah, but that was
I
a free
wanted to, and it was
flyer. He
fun.
was
But
like,
I felt the pressure.
The rush, though.
I
The
felt
rush.
the pressure.
Yeah, the rush.
The adrenaline.
I
put
love
on
his
3
laser
numbers.
eyes when he does those videos. I was showing Trev yesterday. I'm looking.
Oh,
at
yeah,
her.
yeah, the
Look at
filter.
her.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, and
so
no
good.
filter. I mean, that's all natural.
That's all natural.
Yeah.
By the way, tomorrow, if you do come out to Kingsway BP for the watch party, Matt Cassian has confirmed he will be on location tomorrow with us for pre and post game.
That was in the
Really?
balance?
Well, he just
Gage
texted
will
me.
be there, right?
Joaquin usually is there.
Look who it is.
Maybe this guy will
Shawn
be there.
Belle.
What do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
We'll take that spot there.
Over
here.
Are you leaving?
Thank you. He's
Why are you leaving?
Because he
Did
was
Belle
the
tell you
seat
to change
filler.
I'm just filling the seat. Let me know if you need to go to
Would
the
you like a
washroom.
Clamato Caesar?
Can I get you one?
A little early still.
Are you doing Movember right now?
I'm not. This would piss off my wife.
Oh,
I was
boy.
about to.
Poor
Oh, okay.
Linz.
Because I was gonna say, like, as you're walking in, like, it's looking pretty good. It's coming in nicely.
It's like a Carl Winslow.
It is a Carl Winslow. I love Carl Winslow.
Great family man.
Yes.
How's the ice today?
It was good. It was actually really good practice. A lot better than yesterday, that's for sure.
Oh,
Yesterday's was hot garbage
I like how you call out your 15 or no, your 17 and 16-year-olds.
all the time.
Yeah. There's accountability with HC Edmonton.
No, I'm not biting.
well, you got it. Like, if
not
you're not
biting.
gonna, if
He's
you're
not
not
biting.
I'm
gonna
not
practice
biting.
well,
I'm not
let's-
biting.
I'm not trying.
even
I'm
doing
just
it.
saying. I'm speaking
I
here.
wasn't showing up today to even go down this wormhole.
And I'm just like, look, there does come a point where when minor high, like, you're trying to get better, and if you don't show up, they're like, you do need to have
You have to hold them accountable.
and like, we're not saying like go flip things over and yell, like, you're like,
No, that era is gone.
absolutely, but
that's not Bellsy's
to
game.
sit there and say that was a hot garbage practice. Well, practice better, type thing, and you need to learn those things for any walk of life. If you're, in high school, you need to get the kick in the butt sometimes. With
Yeah.
you're not doing your homework, do your homework, figure it out. It's not going to work in college, type thing. So
And that's what we try to do. We're trying to develop them for the next level.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell them. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and blow smoke. Like, I got to tell you the truth so that you know exactly what to do when you get to the next level.
you can't have a bad practice. And be like, good job, boys.
Like,
Here's a ribbon.
That was
Almost there.
awesome, guys.
You
You guys
were
are
almost
definitely going to make it today.
Oh, good job. Well done, boy. Oh, man. Oh, if we could do just a little better, but good job. Well done. No, you can't. You got to tell them. Like,
You
honestly,
tried, kind of.
there's a
Yeah.
way. What
Participation trophies. Here
yes.
you go. Yeah.
do you tell the Edmonton Oilers after?
No, I'm not biting. I'm not even doing it, boys. I decided in the car, I said, today I'm not going to talk about them.
You were great yesterday in the group chat. Like,
had
you
heart
were on
palpitations.
fuego.
I was being honest. I asked Cass to teach me the ways of numbers. Now I know. He's an elite.
He's what?
He's elite.
Oh, yes.
Who's elite?
Bouchard. He's totally tongue-in-cheek.
Well, I need
But
to know just which player.
there was let's call it a chart describing Evan Bouchard as star offensive player.
Well, like Dusty was mentioning it today on like the morning show. Like, this guy could like have like 70 points, and be like minus 28 this year.
Yes.
There was comps.
It's insane.
There was comps on there of Victor Hedman, Tony D'Angelo, which is a very massive discrepancy.
Yes.
Yeah, just those two. Is a big
And I
discrepancy.
know. And then there was one other person, and I can't remember
Could
who
I?
it was.
I
but
can bring it up because
but I'm just like,
I was looking at that going, oh boy.
How do you work on fixing his defensive game?
I think
Can
you,
you?
I think you legitimately need to watch a ton of video with this guy.
Yeah.
And just be like, listen, man, like this is what you're doing. And it's not like a team video. This is a one-on-one. Let's sit down for like half an hour almost every day so you can see exactly what you're doing. Because at some point the light bulb's got to switch on. And, outside of the NHL, every other league is developmental. And for the most part, like different leagues do different stuff. When you get to pro, it's hard because it's like the coach is there not to develop you, so to speak. Like he obviously you're still
There's a
going to get
results
better.
game.
It's a results-based game. And his job when he gets hired is to win and win at all costs. So it's like this fine line of whether, like, what are you trying to do to help this guy get better? And to me, I think you need to sit him down and you need to watch all the mistakes. Watch your shifts. Say, what do you think you could have done better here? Could you have fixed this? Could you have done something here? And then at some point, as you continue to play this over and over in your head, then it translates on the ice. At some point, at least you hope it does. But if you're already doing that and it doesn't translate, well, then I think we have a whole different conversation coming. But
If that is happening and it's not translating, like, this is
then
completely crazy.
yeah.
But is it a point where you look at he's a forward maybe as opposed to a defenseman?
Well, we talked about this, and it's just like, okay, well, there's things in his game that obviously translate very well to the offensive side. He's a terrific puck handler. He's a great passer. He has vision on the offensive side of the game.
Big shot.
Massive shot, but his speed is an issue. So who are you going to play him with? That'd be the first question I'd ask. Who are you going to play with? playing with? Okay, well, McDavid. Okay, well, McDavid flies around the ice. McDavid needs guys that can, go get him the puck, right? Like, he needs a tenacious forechecker. That's why Patty Maroon worked for him. He was a tenacious forechecker. That's why JP worked. As crazy as that sounds. All Puljujärvi did was go get the puck for him, and he put up, how many points? What was the most points he had in the season?
36, I think
36.
If I remember correctly.
So that's not Bouchard.
I'm pretty sure the Oil need a guy that can just go forecheck a big body. Anyway,
I know there's someone out there.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. Anyway, we're going back to this conversation.
Yeah. So he can't do the forechecking.
So you're not going to forecheck.
Doesn't have the speed.
Doesn't have the speed, so he can't play with McDavid then. Like, unless you put
Could
another
he play
guy.
with the Draisaitl? Do you
Maybe,
think?
yeah. Maybe he can play with the Draisaitl. And
Talking about him playing forward.
Well, like, because
but remember, I was just saying.
you and I, we had
because the ultimate, like, because he was saying you got to sit Bouchard down, you got to go through the mistakes. But if you are doing that, and it's not working. What do you do with him then at that point? If he can't play defense and he's a defender, where does he fit in on your team? So, is it completely insane to try?
He's not
forward,
a third liner. So
No,
you can't play him
you're
as a
not
third
going to
liner.
have that physicality from
No,
him.
you
So
can't
he's
play him
very
as a
limited
fourth
what he
liner.
could do as a forward.
Yeah.
And defensively, the defensive side of the game right now is just a big struggle, which is kind of important to that.
He's not going to stand in front of the other team's net and take abuse, I don't think.
No.
He's not going to dig pucks out like Bellsy said.
So,
But when you have such offensive talent,
you put him as your
Yeah,
third
when
pairing,
you're
your
not
third pairing guy.
fit a third pairing.
He's your third pairing guy. That's what he has to be.
Well,
And I think, and
You got those numbers?
if you have Bouchard, and I'm going to speak to the analytical people right now. If Bouchard is a third pairing D man, you are doing unbelievably as a hockey team. Because you limit his mistakes that he makes, because he's going to make these mistakes at 22 minutes. But if he plays 15 minutes and he's power play at that point too, imagine how good he'll be. Because you're taking away all the variables, for the most part, all the variables. You're limiting the mental mistakes to maybe one instead of 5, 6, maybe one now. Mm-hmm. And then you let his offense shine in a more favorable position in terms of his competition, his opponent's level of play.
someone texted in, I think it was early in training camp, maybe even in the offseason, right when we launched, and was like, Bouchard will be the next Tyson Barrie. I didn't want to believe it, and I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, you know what? He's bigger. He started to assert himself more in the postseason last year and down the stretch. That texter, whoever it was, 100% correct at this point.
100% right, but Tyson Barrie towards the end started to fix his defensive deficiencies.
That's a good point.
He became a better defender.
Yeah.
Right around the time that he was almost exiled from Toronto, I think something flicked in his head and was like, man, like, I'm expendable. I'm this good offensively, but I'm expendable.
Twice expendable.
And now I got to start playing on the defensive end. So when he came here, yes, he was still super offensive, but he was starting to work on the defensive side to the point where when he left, you're like, he isn't actually terrible on the defensive end. He was like adequate.
We stopped talking about his defensive liabilities to a certain extent.
And I think
compared to when he first got here.
I think for Bouchard, I just think he doesn't need to become the absolute best shutdown player in the world. He just needs to become adequate. That's it.
Well, it's funny because that's like also like when you look at the Oilers, goaltending just needs to be
Adequate.
average.
Yeah,
You know, like
just
and
needs
it's
to be-
this team doesn't need a lot. Like you're not sitting there and being
No.
like they need to have out of the world greatness coming
No.
onto the. They need to go get 100%. Like if it's not Victor Hedman, they have no like. It's just small improvements here and there on the roster,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden this team is way better.
But
Just small improvements.
the way hockey works, it's actually very weird. And it's always if you cheat the game bites you back. And I think this is a maturation. It's part of the maturation process for the Oilers because if you watch their game, and I was actually listening to Craig Button on my way to work with the Nielsen show, and it's like, well, McDavid's flying the zone. They don't even have full control of the puck, and he's out in the neutral zone because he wants a break, and he's trying to cheat for the offensive side. And I started, I'm like, that's actually exactly what it is because teams that win the Stanley Cup. So you've had Colorado that beat the Oilers, then you've had Vegas that beat the Oilers. Like, they play the right way the entire time. Like, there's no wavering from whether they play the right way or not.
Yeah.
Nathan McKinnon is back and he's playing hard. And he's playing hard in the D zone. So, yeah, he doesn't get 130 points. He gets 110. He gets 100. Maybe he gets 90. It doesn't matter. But he is...
How many goals is being stopped on the other end?
100%.
That doesn't go into this.
But has he changed the conversation of him not being in the top 5 players, offensive players in the world right now?
He's still up there.
He's still up there. So I think the part of it is that you, and I don't want to use this Scotty Bowman reference with Yzerman, but it's like it's almost becoming just flat out truth where it's like, if you don't go out and you get 130 points and you're winning every trophy possible, but you go down to 110 and you keep 20 out of your net, where are we talking about here? And I think that's the reality of the situation is the Oilers need to figure out they have to play the right way. They have all the makings of doing it.
What's frustrating though with you saying that though is how long have we been saying that? That team defense, not just defense, not just goaltending, but the whole team has to play better defensively.
It's a mindset for the entire
team. And we're still talking about it.
Yep. 100% we are.
We're still saying this team needs to figure this out.
But until you hit rock bottom, when do you figure it out?
Bad team with a lot of good players on it.
A lot of good players.
Yeah.
But the problem is for years we've been getting by. They've been getting by. Sorry, Tom hates when we say we, but they've been getting by.
Well, you played for them. It's more than okay. It's not like Matthew. I don't. How did you do with your Ravens this past week?
We had a big game against Cincinnati. Do you not remember?
Do you know what number he is? 00.
I don't wear 00. I would never wear 00.
I'm kidding.
I'm not that. But we went out to Cincinnati or home to Cincinnati. Ray Lewis was there, fired the boys up.
As one
We
does.
went out there and we won the football game.
Ray does fire people up.
And you did win that football.
We did win that football game, and I also won fantasy football this weekend too. So
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
But when you played for the Oilers, so
But
I think that's
yeah,
he's allowed to.
Fair. But the whole point is it's just like figure out the details, stop cheating the game. Maybe you've got to hit rock bottom for you to actually look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, like, man, for the last whatever amount of years I put up this many points, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Maybe I just need to actually focus on the defensive end. Maybe you have to hit rock bottom.
You want to get to those numbers?
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
You're just. I just because it
You've had
created.
them ready for the last 15 minutes.
It created quite the conversation yesterday. Evan Bouchard was dubbed a star on Sunday in terms of production. And he was dubbed the 6th star from the 2018 class, joining Darlene Svechnikov, Brady Tkachuk, Quinn Hughes, and Noah Dobson. The comment with this chart also says that Bouchard has looked the part of a star every year since he was drafted, and 200 games in, here we are. This is in production-wise, so offensively. Like Belsey was saying, draft year comps, there's Ryan Murphy with an X beside his name. And then that X signifies 100 gamer. Juuso Valimaki, Cam York, and Ty Smith. And then full comps, Tony DeAngelo, Ryan Murphy, Victor Hedman, and John Slaney.
But that's looking just offensive.
Yeah, production-wise.
Which isn't like, it's defenseman.
That part's
right?
pretty much left out.
Okay, so
As far as I can
say
tell.
offensively, he's offensively, he's got the abilities. He's great at it.
But
you want that type of player.
The comparables,
offensively,
you're right, Tony DeAngelo,
boy,
Victor Hedman.
Yeah,
Ryan Murphy's in there twice.
Yeah.
Is he still in the NHL?
I don't know
even
if
think
he
he is.
I doubt so. I doubt it.
A lot of potential, just never panned out. And then John Slaney, that. All right.
So if the Oilers, let's say, go 1-1 the next two, what is that next move? We were discussing it earlier.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm out of thoughts.
And that's why I go to, I think it's on to next season.
Yeah.
I think it's on to,
because
I don't think you could salvage this. And it's make sure you're proper for 24-25.
Fair. But what's coming off the books at the end of this year?
Well, you're not gaining that $4 million of cap space when the cap goes up $4 million because there's the Connor Brown penalty of 3.25 that's hitting the books.
Penalty.
I know it.
It's fair. James Neal comes. No, James Neal
He's got
still
one
has
more year.
Oh, my
He's got one
goodness.
more year.
They should have bought out Koskinen. I said it on 1260. That was the play.
So yeah, you gain $750 in one way. You're gonna buy out Jack Campbell, I'm assuming, or hopefully, in my mind, trade him, eating only half his salary.
You're going to have to give up a first to get rid of him.
What did the Kings give away in the Cal Peterson trade? Because that's the same contract basically. $5 million for a goalie who's lost it and is basically an AHLer now. That was not.
Give me
good.
a second. I'll
was
find
not
it
good.
for you. Man, his picture, he looks so young.
Who? Cal Peterson?
Look at that. He looks like a kid.
He does look like
yeah,
a
he
kid.
does.
Oh, my.
Like, jeez, he's like that was an
Baby
NHLer.
face.
He's a rich kid now.
Playing career, professional, signed a deal, signed an extension. Oh, it was a 3-team deal. I got to now open up this 3-team deal on the fly. So Flyers acquired him. Flyers receive a 2023 first, a 2024 second, a 2024 conditional second. Peterson and 2 players. Columbus received Provorov. The Kings received 2 players and retained 30% of Provorov's salary.
Yeah.
So now the first round pick was 22nd overall from Columbus. LA sent a second round pick, and the conditional was from Columbus as well. So look, you're not trading away this year's first with
Can't.
Jack Campbell
Yeah.
because also that's a better first than that.
Yeah.
But can you trade the 2025 first with Jack Campbell and getting 25% retained or 50% retained off of that?
Well, you got to try
there
to
that
get
team?
rid, you got to get rid of more than 50, I think.
I don't think you're allowed. I think it caps out at 50%, is it not? You can only eat 50%.
Yeah, you
as a
can
big
only
contract.
eat 50%.
Yeah.
But like if you're the Oilers, like you want as much of this money gone as you possibly can. So I don't know if you want to retain 50%. Like I think you maybe 25% you would want to retain, but like you want
Oh, I see.
you know what I mean? Like,
Like,
you got to get rid of most of this money.
See, the reason I'm okay with the 50 is because you don't have the extra years of a buyout.
Fair.
That's where
Yeah.
I hate the buyout. I hate
Yeah.
those extra years
Yeah.
that get taken on because we're looking at James Neal going, oh, there's another
Yeah,
year of
we're
James
still
Neal
paying
here,
for
and
James
he's not
Neal.
around.
Exactly.
That's where I could live with actually
Yeah.
going 50% if you have to, because then you don't have to buy him out.
You know what the Oilers need to do? They need to go back to Europe and they go get Mikko Koskinen.
You have to leave now. I love you, but you need to leave.
I don't think his numbers are solid.
He's not playing. He's just retiring, basically. Semi-retired playing for Switzerland.
I would love to go
A
do
Swiss
that
team.
deal. 2024-23 Lugano. He has
great to see you.
He has an 884 save percentage
Oh,
right
that
now.
sounds about right.
So-
It's been a pleasure. See you guys.
Belsey out. Just
Last
dropped
year
the
he
mic.
had a dead on 900 save percentage, but right now an 884. So he's in 12 games. So he's also got 2 penalty minutes.
Halak is available now.
Yeah.
I mean, anything
He
is
is.
better than what's going on.
Did we
But-
give up on Calvin Pickard being the savior already? Guys, come on. Give him a chance.
That was my thing I was pushing for yesterday. And,
you weren't the only one.
It did
You
not
weren't the only
go
one.
at all how I would fully expect. But yeah, this team, it's
He wasn't awful.
No, he wasn't. I
he
mean,
wasn't awful, but there was one for sure where he's like, I probably want that one back.
the McDavid goal to start. I was listening to it on the broadcast because I was heading out from here, and it was made a save. It seemed like, and then
Yeah.
McDavid goes, and that hasn't happened enough this year. We get that
Yeah.
save, and then it goes the other end, and you score. It happens a lot on the Oilers, but not for the Oilers. So that happened. But 2 straight games, you have a 2-0 lead, and you blow it, and
Yeah.
you're walking away with the loss again. And that's where, like, we were saying before you came in too, like, I feel like the next move the Oilers kind of have to make as it's looking to next year is figure out who's going to run this team. Who's Jeff Jackson going to put in place in the GM? Maybe it's time that you start fully opening that up and making that decision. And if that's even right now having to say Ken Holland, he's going to stay onto this role until we find that next GM or whatever. And then when we do, he's going to transition an advisor for the rest of the season. Or if it's just straight up like the guy doesn't get the job until X. I think now it's time that this organization really puts an emphasis on who's in charge of this team next year. Because kind of the moves the rest of this season going to have a pretty big impact on next season too now.
yeah.
Who was in the running there? Wasn't that Hunter?
Mark Hunter.
Yeah, Mark Hunter's been
He's been
He's
rumored.
one of the he's front runners. It seems like
Right now?
Oh, I don't know.
potentially next
Oh.
year. Like he's been the
I
first
hadn't
name
heard
that's
any
popped
names
up
right now for
Trying to figure out what the
goes
hell's
in.
going on right now.
Well,
like
Yeah,
what
the-
happens in house. Does it come from in house or do you go out? And if you
they
go
have
out,
the in-house option, and that one is now in Ottawa.
but you still have Keith Gretzky. You still have Brad Holland. I don't know how the Oilers
I
value
think-
them. So I'll just throw those names out there.
I don't know where Brad Holland sits right now, or if he gets painted in the same light as his dad.
Yep.
There's probably some of that, but I know he's very likely interested in the job for sure.
I think even though there's only 32
Keith Gretzky
jobs,
would
right?
be. Keith Gretzky. I don't want to speak for Keith Gretzky, but I think he'd like to be a GM in the National Hockey League.
Yep.
And then it's how big of a search do you go with this? And it's what other organizations are you talking to people?
Everything you
and
can.
So then those
Matthew
conversations.
Darch out of Tampa.
Then you got to start requesting permission to speak.
Yep.
Like it comes to that point, we need to start hearing those reports that the Oilers have asked for permission to speak to Tampa for him and other, because I think that's where you're at kind of right now. Because like this was, I think a lot of 2 1-1 road trip was kind of that bar. Yesterday I lowered it on the oil stream in my mind to 2-2.
2 1-1s out the window.
Maybe you could salvage a 4-point road trip type thing. But are we feeling good that they're going to get 2 straight wins against Carolina and Washington?
The answer
No.
is no.
No,
Exactly.
no.
It's a resounding
So
no.
5 wins this year against bad teams right now, or okay teams, if you will.
Yeah.
I think the bigger problem is, regardless whoever you bring in, he's got to look at this roster and say this roster has some serious imbalances because they're not hard enough to play against. That's for sure. And 2, there's too much of an emphasis on a high octane 1984 Oilers offense.
But they won 5 cups, Belsey.
They won 5 cups in
at those
1984 when half the guys were
at
wearing
those banners.
rollerblades.
Never heard that one. I love it. Well said. I'm going to dip into the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Keep those texts coming in. There's a lot of good ones. From E-Town Beatdown, who's saying, the Oilers lost Bukestad, great face-off man and good two-way player, great on PK and big. They lost Costin, apparently great room guy, tough, physical, feared on the ice, showed some offense. They lost Puljujärvi, couldn't finish, but had lots of chances. Another big body, didn't get hemmed in, own zone too often. I disagree with E-Town Beatdown on Puljujärvi, but that's just me. They lost Yamamoto, not great playoff player, but
Dustin's
great,
listening, by the way.
pretty good regular season guy, good work ethic, battle heart. Janmark has been injured all season, great PK guy, good work ethic, and heart guy as well. Their bottom 9 is nowhere near as good as last year, and that goes E-Town Beatdown. Basically, is alluding to you saying not hard enough to play against, pointing out those guys.
Yeah. Say whatever you want about Puljujärvi. Say whatever you want. He was effective in the role that he needed to be in.
They
Top
don't
line
do a
right
great
wing.
job just getting the puck off the opponent's stick.
He was disruptive
big.
in the offensive zone.
He
I'll
was
give him
disruptive. He was a good forechecker.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't get along with certain people,
that. Lost his confidence.
lost his confidence, and bye-bye. But right now, the Oilers could use a big 6'4", 215-pound winger that can skate.
Not
that
that-
can produce roughly around 35
Not that guy.
to
That's twice you've brought
40
this up.
points.
Not
Shawn
that
Belle
guy.
wants the Oilers to re-sign as Puljujärvi.
Just
Don't even do that. Do not book that. Do not say anything. I'm just saying they need to go out and get somebody that can actually play on the wall.
And you sure Bouchard can't play right wing?
And no,
won't-
he can't do
Okay,
that.
Just double checking.
I was
That was
thinking,
I
however,
threw that one out
I
there
know,
first.
I'm
He
being
brought up the Puljujärvi twice. That's why he
sarcastic.
says sign him.
I know.
I love it. I do not
You
say
just
sign up.
shuffled that into his mouth.
I would say, however, if I'm the Oilers, I'm looking at the Arizona Coyotes for 2 reasons. One,
Not a salary dump for one?
salary dump
that's
for one.
Everyone looks at it. That's what Arizona's good
And number
for.
2, they have a few players that are on the younger side that I think could actually fit with what the Oilers need to actually do.
The Coyotes
One
are
name-
better than the Oilers right now.
I know they do.
There's a lot of teams better than the Oilers right now. That's-
Krause.
Yeah, I like Lawson Cross.
Lawson Krause would be a perfect fit for this team.
Do the Coyotes value
Except
and want
he's
to
at
keep him?
4.5 mil.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Because he had a good year a couple
He had a
seasons
great year.
ago.
Yeah.
So they've got only one player on dead cap right now. Retained salary.
Who?
Oliver Ekman Larson. Looks like they've only got him.
much
Because you
more?
could only have 3 players.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah.
Tampa has someone. I think they have Seabrook on
Yeah,
theirs.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have him for after this year 5 more years.
For how much money?
320, 650, 650, 290, 290.
Unreal.
So it's not a lot of money,
OEL's
but-
having a resurgence in Florida this year.
Weird.
Yeah.
They have 2 guys on buyouts, but I don't think that impacts whether they could retain. I think they could retain 2 more team players of salary if you're looking to drop. Because I think it's only 3 players you could have of retained salary. So
Okay. Let's call the cap.
they still open.
Yeah.
They're still open.
Bill Scott, pick up the phone, please.
Bill, hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill.
I know you're busy.
So going back to the conversation we had, I just think the Oilers they're not hard enough to play against, and realistically, the names that were just mentioned from E-Town Beatdown
Great name.
would have been very useful and effective last game, because I watched that game and Florida plays hard and they're a menacing team.
Full of
However,
jerks. Lots of jerks on that lineup.
when Aaron Ekblad is acting like he's the toughest guy on the ice, we probably have an issue. When Sam Bennett is like consistently, and I mean, he took at least 3 or 4 runs at Hyman. He was face washing him for like, I don't know how long, it seemed an eternity, and not one guy. And I'm taking Evander Kane out of this because Evander Kane will actually go do something. Because he
He
was
got
playing
benched
hard.
yesterday and took a
Yeah,
10
because he
minute.
took a stupid penalty.
Yes.
But outside of him, how do you let that happen?
You're soft.
Because you're a defeated team right now.
And you're soft.
We've talked about this at length. I think they need to have a come to Jesus moment where the whole team, let's go. That would have been a perfect game.
His suggestion is go to a dive bar on the road.
No, that's not my suggestion.
Oh, that
anymore.
wasn't you?
That well, it used to be mine.
Oh, that was. Okay,
now it's
yeah.
not.
Well,
Mine is,
I want to before we
Yeah,
get to
go
that, I
ahead.
want to hear the
Find
rest
your-
of that.
Go and have a night
Yeah.
before game day. Find your Gloria and then go out there, play guilty, and win, and start to rally the troops.
yeah.
So like
But
get
that was
like
the- you
play
changed it.
hungover or
play
like
absolutely guilty.
really?
Yeah.
That's what the Blues did.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what
And-
that
and
is
so what's your
exactly what
thing-
the Blues.
And what's your thing now?
Now, I think they need to have an absolute fight night. You mail in a game, you pick a team, I don't care who it is, and you mail it in. Like to the point where every single time in the third period, another guy's coming down the tunnel because they got into another scrap. They're high-fiving each other. They're like, man, this was fantastic. And then at least they know that they've got each other's backs.
Oh,
'Cause
so
right
like
now-
mail it in terms of
Like,
just
let's-
focus
like,
on the physicality,
beat the
focus
crap
on
out of somebody.
hitting
Crap
and
out of
fighting.
somebody.
And if you lose 5-0, who cares? You guys
cares?
had each other's back,
Had
and
each
you
other's
guys
back, and we're going to go through
cause
the
some
wall.
punishment to the other team.
Yeah, and we're going through the wall for each other. Because right now, if you watch the others play, do you think they think their buddy has their back?
No.
I don't think they like support each other in any way, shape, or form. And I talked to him on Hello Hockey about it, where McDavid is laying on the ground and Giuseppe has got him in basically an arm bar, and it took 15 seconds for McLeod to come in there and push the guy. Desharnais was on the ice, and like that's auto shed moment. Come together, boys. Your captain is getting a beat down. He's laying on the ground. This was against Vancouver after JT Miller ran him, and it was
Yeah.
a hard hit. And now JT's like cross-checking him. And you're like, okay, well, what is going on here, people? Somebody come in here and do something that affects the team to the point where they sit there and they're like, man, you know what? You have my back.
I want to get into that. Shawn Belle, Tom Gazzola, Matt Iwanyk with you here in the EST Hangout, presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. Let's get into movers and shakers, brought to you by Marco and Mike Realty One Group Insider. Buying or selling, give Marco and Mike the old PTO contract. Let them prove why they're the best team for the job. MarcoandMike.com for more information. How does that come up for a team to go do that? Like, is that a player saying tonight, we got to go have fight? Like, how does that?
May I?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Naturally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You get pissed off, the right guy gets mad, and he goes and does it. And then the other guys follow suit because it pisses them off.
Yeah.
You can't manufacture that.
Yeah.
No?
It can't. I'm gonna go fight this guy because I'm mad. Because then the other guys on the bench go, oh, well, go do it. I don't care. It has to like come naturally.
it's
Something
gotta.
has to trigger it. Or
Something.
like Belsey says, you go get messed up. You have a good night with the boys, and you go, you know what? Tomorrow night, I don't give a crap. I'm gonna go hit every guy I see. Maybe I'll end up in a fight, and then I'll get thrown out of the game. And you know what? I bet my teammate will, and that guy will, and that guy will, and we're just gonna goon it up. And you know what? We do have each other's back. And listen, I know it's barbaric, and people don't like that element of the game, and the refs and linesmen will jump in immediately, but just
it's the principle
night
at that
to
point.
signify that everybody has each other's back, and it's more than just words; it's actually actions.
A couple of years ago, they had a line brawl against the Flames, and they still show this line brawl now today on Instagram, Twitter. They still talk about it. You know how much that brought the team together? And I'm not saying like you gotta like just put it this way. The Maple Leafs went out and they got Ryan Reeves, not for any other reason other than the fact that intimidation is still a factor. Florida Panthers are an intimidating hockey team. They play heavy and they're a factor. They beat the best team in recent memory because of the way that they played. The Anaheim Ducks won a Stanley Cup based off of truculence. So these things are still factors in the game.
Yeah.
And teams there needs to be a sense of togetherness. There needs to be a sense that that guy's got my back, and that if anything happens, there's somebody coming instantaneously.
Like a trust factor.
It's a trust factor.
This team looked like it had that last year.
Last year, yeah.
So how does that go away
Because you had
in an
Costin
offseason?
that can do it.
So it's
Go ahead.
it's just
Okay,
it does come back to like I don't
Yeah,
think the Oilers in this spot only because of the guys that they've lost in the
No,
bottom six.
no.
But
No.
that's a decent factor then
Yeah.
for this, you're saying.
And the other thing too, and someone brought this up. It was a player in the league, not in this market. Every year, each team goes through a reset in all levels of hockey, and you recreate an identity. The group that you had the year prior, 95% of the guys might be the same players, but how you play, how you react, how you mesh together, it changes every single season. It's this weird thing. I don't know how else to describe it. You reset your identity. This team's identity this year is wimpy.
Shouldn't have that come during
We're
the
better
captain's
than you,
gate?
but then we don't go and work hard. What?
If you shouldn't have come during the captain's gate, and you're
No.
you're sending a message saying, "Hey, we're all coming here. We're gonna get this season going." Like, that's not a time to
But
do
that doesn't set your identity as a team,
You have to play.
right? Like, what is the identity of the Edmonton Oilers this year?
Flawed.
Sure.
Severely
But, like,
Right, so we
flawed.
could go down the list, and there's just so much wrong with this team.
Yeah,
that we
but
could,
like,
we don't have
let's
a
try to
lot
find
there,
the
but-
positive. Like, if you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're sitting in that locker room, and you're saying, "Okay, what is our identity?" You're null block. And you
Skill.
say, "Okay, my
and
identity's." So skill, that's one of them for sure. But what else would they
Arrogance.
want? Would they'd want it to be? Well, you got to go from their perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Chris Knobloch's up like you guys are arrogant.
Yeah.
What if he
So
does?
we're skilled, and what else? Because skilled
for this
isn't
team
enough
right now?
Yeah, skilled is not enough in today's NHL
No.
to get things done.
Skill is important.
It's
you
super
want that,
important.
but hard work could balance out skill often.
So then
right?
if you look at the team
they
last
don't have
year-
that work ethic that you would say right now.
Yeah.
They don't have a confidence. They're not a confident group. Their second PP's been okay.
So the team that they had last year,
Yeah.
they were skilled.
Yep.
They were big. They could play any way that you wanted it, and they would probably do it very well. That's why they were a hard test for the Vegas Golden Knights. And that's why Vegas was like, yeah, that was our Stanley Cup. So there's a missing piece to this puzzle, and it's like, what do you do? They can't. They trust each other. You remember that one clip last year in the playoffs when they were in Vegas, and the puck goes down the ice, the whistle blows at the red line, and all of a sudden there's this pan, but you like the two players at center, but then you see down the ice, Kane is on top of a guy pounding Kolzar's ribs. You've got another guy in the corner. It might have been Darnell beating somebody up. You got this over here, and it was just like,
Was that the Kane with the fan middle finger moment?
Yeah. And you're like, holy crap, like this team is for real, because Vegas is a physical team, and they tried to push around the Oilers, and the Oilers were like, it ain't happening. And they could play. And then obviously that just dissipated over the course of the series. But that was like a moment where you're like, man, if we can bring this team back with that swagger, because there was some serious swagger at that time. You're like, oh my God, This team is lights out.
They earned it.
They earned it.
They
And
worked
that's
for
why
it.
I think so many people are like they're losing their minds now because you see things like that. You saw it.
You know
in the
how good
past,
this team could
Yeah.
be.
and you're like, man, this is a team.
Where did that go?
Yeah.
That's a
And,
great
and it's
point.
not just about fighting. Like, let me like
It's
it's not.
physicality and stuff.
But it's the point of what they were willing to do for each other and what they were willing to do every single night. The fact for 20 games, they were one of the best defensive teams in hockey last year showed me that they cared for each other because defense is hard. And you have to be willing to block shots. You have to be willing to support your teammate. You have to be willing to go above and beyond to keep the puck out of your net.
Barbershop Window says I missed that team. WTF. Now
They were
this
good.
team had that a moment against Vancouver in that third game where they started taking penalties. There was some fights. What's the difference
But
between?
there were selfish penalties. Like Draisaitl got a 10 for screaming at the ref. Don't scream at the ref. Go two-hand somebody for all I care. Like do something.
Go
like,
Alex Petrangelo somebody.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
like-
a terrible reference.
Don't go
least-
that far,
I
but go
know.
somewhere there. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like
there,
you're showing emotion, which is good, but your emotion's misguided. Like you're screaming at the ref. Like, do you think the ref made you not play good? That guy over there just beat you to 10 pucks, and he's out battled you 10 times.
And he
Maybe
laughed
go
at
do
you.
something to him.
Yeah.
It's fun times in Edmonton.
Take it now, take it all year, right? I think that's one of the sayings too in the dressing rooms.
Yeah. Fun is subjective, but never a dull moment.
It isn't. It isn't. This was supposed to be an easy season. I was the one that was at the start of the year, but like, get me to the playoffs. Let me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Let's
remember
fast
that.
forward to that. This season should be easy.
Yeah.
Get in the playoffs. Let's get ready and see if this team could win in the playoffs. And instead, we're sitting here going, honestly, it's U.S. Thanksgiving in 2 days, and the numbers are 75 to 80% or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That are in a playoff spot make the playoffs. So the Oilers have to be one of those 15 to 20% teams that find a way in. And when there's only 16 spots, I don't know quickly the math of how many teams then would fall out.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Well, there's only 8 actually, really. But
Guys just need to
so
be
2
sloppy.
teams have a chance of dropping out. Basically, 2 teams.
Yeah.
Are the Oilers going to be able to grab one of those wild card spots with the rest of this
You
season?
need
And
to find your Brett Hall screaming, slurring Gloria. You need to find your alumni guy to do that. It's not
Come on,
gonna be
Sean.
that guy. Not
Come
going to
on.
be me. Gloria.
pick a different song. And you're good to go.
Beautiful.
Let's do
Thank
it.
you.
Lovely.
Just
We'll
slurring
get
and
you,
screaming.
Gager, and Strutty
Yeah.
together and get the boys out. And you guys take the boys out and see what
Yeah,
can happen.
sounds good.
We won't say anything. You
Yeah.
guys just do
You
it.
just do it.
And we'll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody needs to be hugging each other, sweating.
Oh, by the way, Strutty, full compliments to you on Friday when we had him on the Hangout.
Yeah.
Huh?
He
What?
ripped Gager.
Really?
Oh,
But I
all
said, do you have
over.
anything to say about Belzy? Belzy's great. Belzy's
Awesome.
awesome. Belzy's a great
Amazing.
defender
Yeah.
and all this. So
Yeah.
he's defenseman love, baby.
Yeah, that is
The
defenseman
defenseman brotherhood.
I mean,
It's right there.
realistically, goalies should be in that brotherhood, but they're a little bit odd. So,
Did you play Gager ever?
we used to skate with each other.
Yeah.
Like when I think I was like 19, 18.
But there was no
skating-
crossover
No,
playing West?
no.
Okay.
Gagers last year was what, like 2007, 2008?
Yeah, so I would definitely missed him.
You would have been just turning pro. Or you would have been
I would
pro
have been a couple years
in the
pro.
minors.
Yeah. I think he was in Europe at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Gager yet about what Strutty said about him and stuff.
Oh,
So-
you
I
gotta-
talked to him
You
about
got to
that.
wind him up.
He didn't like
Gager?
it,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
but he did giggle a bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as he does. And
You know
then-
one of those toys that has a wind up?
Yeah.
You got to do that to Gager and just let him go.
I can't do it.
Get him on the
I
hang,
love
get him on the
Thursday,
hangout.
baby.
Just wind him up.
Paris Jewelers inbox. A lot of good texts coming in. I want to get to some. This text, no name, says the Oilers are being tripped and pushed around by every team they play. It gets them rattled, and they have no response because no one can stand up for the team. Their offense has been figured out, and their defense is so bad. Every team knows how to take advantage. They are on the ropes and waiting for the knockout punch. Can't argue that. I think Hontorio Moms had one. This one says,
true.
it's from Hontorio Moms. The oil issues everybody on their team was drafted to be and thinks they're scorers. They have no characters other than people who think that they should be on the top line. Go find guys with pride themselves and third and fourth liners. I had another one that I really liked. Calgary Glenn says, in hindsight, would you rather have traded Bouchard for Ekholm and kept Barry? I don't know if they would even make that trade, Calgary Glenn, but yeah, I don't know. E-Town beatdown. We got to. Let's get to a couple more. Oh, Coach Mike had a good one too. Boston lost their top 2 centermen and haven't skipped a beat. That's a good point. Even St. Louis lost Tarasenko and O'Reilly, and they are off to an okay start. And then Coach Mike adds, before the trade deadline, the Oilers were the highest scoring team in the league. They are 27th in goals for right now. Coach Mike, yeah. And they're probably right at the top or bottom, however you look at it, in goals against. Big Dave, if this bad boy loads. It's not loading.
Your Wi-Fi is a little weird today.
The Wi-Fi has been wonky. Oh, I got it. Big Dave says, so in regards to the identity and the tough guy thing, could part of that come from bringing back the biker vest and getting rid of the stupid beret and the plunger? Big Dave, thank you for that text. That's pretty
great.
good. I like that.
So the Oilers have given up 66 goals this year. Only 5 teams have done worse. Montreal has done the same of 66. So Tampa's actually given up 69. Columbus 70, Minnesota 70, Seattle 72, and the Sharks 76. I can't do goal differentials.
three
Oh
of-
my
three
God,
of
San
those
Jose is,
teams
well,
are-
I guess when you give up 10 goals twice.
San
San
Jose
is
is
minus 49.
San
goal
Jose is an
differential, but
NHL team by default
They've
right
scored
now.
27 goals.
A couple of those teams are in the rebuild, though.
Oh my God. The next closest to San Jose is Washington at 39.
Yikes.
How many goals did San Jose score against the Oilers?
3?
Like
3 big ones?
minus 49. That's absolutely incredible.
I'm just laughing at the fact that up until San Jose played the Oilers,
More
they
than
were
10%.
averaging 1 goal a game.
Yep, it was like 1
They
point.
couldn't cross the red line.
They scored more than 10% of their goals this season in that game against Edmonton, which they won.
Oh, man.
It's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I teed off on the Oilers that night, calling
you
them
should.
as I should. I didn't feel good about it. It was the
What
right
did
thing
you feel
to do.
good about?
None of it.
Well, but like
This is just an aside, obviously, but I think, some fans want this team to get shredded night in, night out, which they do deserve. But
on posts and stuff.
yeah, like you can only go to
gets
that well,
old,
so
though,
it
right?
gets
Like-
old. And listen, we'll call out the crappy stuff, and there's a ton of it with this team through 17 games. But like that night against San Jose, I went on like a rant to start the show.
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Somebody called it the SNL cold open from Tommy. Like it was an 8-minute cold open from him.
I don't want to have another one of those. That's the
I don't
one.
think you can
That's
though
the
this year
one
anymore
this year.
because
yeah.
I think we know
Yeah.
now this season's going to go where it is, and I don't think
That
there's
was
going to
it.
be another moment where we're going to see this team go, "Wow, what just happened tonight?" Like that was
Yeah.
it was supposed to be the win. It was the worst team in hockey you're playing
the center
against.
of the
They'd given
bingo
up
card.
2 games of 10 points. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
one. The Oilers come out, get some points, hopefully turns their season around. Instead, they got their coach fired. And I don't think you're having that moment again this year.
You can't.
No, and there's also enough old school media guys out there that are going to do all that and create a terrible relationship with the team. And I think there's got to be a fine line. Like, you can press them, but at the same time, there should be a bit of that relationship so they give you some more stuff.
I don't want to get into the media of this
Yeah,
right now.
There's
I'm
a
gonna-
few people.
I'm
in
going to
the
say stay out of
inbox.
that one.
Yeah,
And,
there's a few people saying
Should
we
I
need to
stay out of
comment.
this one?
You know what?
You could say what
can say
you
whatever
want.
you
This
But,
is what- this
Movers,
was what
by the way,
my-
this is Movers and Shakers brought to you by Marco and Mike Realty. Let Marco and Mike earn your trust. Marco and Mike.com for more information if you're looking to buy or sell your house. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you're ever talking to them, talk to Mike about his Tiger Woods story still, because it truly, like, you will not know where this goes. No one will be able to expect like where this story is going to go. It is awesome. He told it to me in Gager a few weeks ago. He was like 10 minutes, great 10-minute story. So talk to Marco and Mike about that.
Okay, he's teed
You
up.
want to
and
go
ready
into it?
Yeah.
You can.
No, I'm just going to say, myself and Tom talked about this last time I was on pre and post. We're just going to make a bunch of PSAs
yeah.
and we're going to film them. And then every single time they have a bad game, we're going to press play and we're going to put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, hi, Oilers fans. This is former Edmonton Oilers Shawn Belle. Do you have a love-hate with your local NHL team? Do you feel
Piano
that
music.
they drive you to drink?
Piano
Well,
music.
embrace that. Crack that drink and have another 10.
Mix in a water.
It's going to be stuff like this.
I like that. No,
more
I
you
was
know.
talking about something else with media-wise. That,
yeah,
like
I don't want to
Spec
get
you're talking
I don't want to get into that
Yes.
one. I'm going to sit on the sidelines for that one. But your
Spec.
PSAs, I like that.
But
I
I
actually
think
do like
you
those
have to.
PSAs.
Yeah,
I
you
think those
gotta.
are nice.
I
That,
think
like,
we should
it's-
do. YouTube
yeah.
Trap could do great
Like-
work with that. He's an artist.
Alcohol's not your thing. Smoke a joint. Relax.
Have a gummy.
You know, just like
Take a bath.
you know, like, there's a lot of ways we could go with this. You know, turn on a video game.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
some FIFA.
Yeah.
Get your mind off.
you
it,
Go
right? You
on
know,
to
like-
NHL 24.
Yes.
Play that same team the Oilers just lost to, put it on easy mode, and run up the score.
win 20-0 and be happy. I like that actually.
Yeah.
That's just a few of those to rotate
I
all
like
year.
this idea.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad
think
you
we gotta
brought that
do it.
up.
Different shots.
Yeah.
You know, it's to go to you and then
You got
also
Cassian, you got Gager.
Yeah.
Maybe you bring Struds in for a few. Like, and just
Absolutely.
have different ones.
just have Struddy's laugh on loop.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jason Strutting, and then he laughs for like 15 seconds, and then the more you know with your EST logo.
Whose mood's not going to be changed when it's just Struddy
Exactly.
laughing?
It's almost like, have you seen that meme with Shaq and the cat? And Shaq is like giving the little
Yeah, the shimmy and the
little
shake.
shimmy.
Yeah.
Just have Struds doing the same thing. Oh man,
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We're 6
PSAs
weeks
are
into
coming.
the season.
is that it?
That's it.
It's only been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Jeez, it feels longer.
Boy, does it ever.
It feels like we've gone through like a full season already
Oh, yes.
of various things. So, yeah, we're not even at Christmas yet. We're not even December yet. And
No.
they haven't gone through the December slump yet.
Oh boy,
That's just going to be regular Oilers hockey by then, the way it's going.
Oh, this is just incredible.
Let's go to the Bears Jewelers inbox for more comedy and sadness. This one says, I'm not an Oilers fan, so I have said since last year they lived and died by the power play. Just as coach said, they consistently cheat and are never on the defensive side of the puck. Bouchard once again got caught pinching, then comes back slowly. You can't tell me the previous D coach did not see this and try to correct it. They have had how many years to correct the goal situation, and the window on the superstars is fast closing. They all had career years last year and still lost to Vegas based on their 5-on-5 play. Bouchard is a threat at both ends of the ice. No name on that one. Maddie will appreciate this. This is coming in from Hontorio Momes. My brother described the Oilers as England in the World Cup. So much hype, but so much flop. You guys know of any team in any sport that had a face plant like this?
England's more Leafs.
Are they?
England hasn't really ever won. They won a World Cup in like the 60s or something. The Leafs haven't won a cup since like the 60s or something, and everyone
Yeah.
thinks that they're like at this top. It's close to the Oilers too right now. They haven't won really since the 80s. But I always envision England and the Leafs being very similar, soccer-wise.
there's been a few
Okay.
teams that have had face
Colorado did it after the Patrick Waugh big year.
And they got Cale Makar.
They got Cam McCarr. Yeah, that's true.
and then
Then look what
maybe this
happened.
is a resurgence.
Maybe the Oilers just need that first-round pick.
Maybe these guys are playing chess and we're playing checkers.
They're going to get that stud
They're gonna get a stud.
on an ELC.
Yeah,
Cap don't matter. Connor Brown's penalty now don't matter.
no,
Because you've got the
Man, they've been
ELC
fooling us
defender.
the whole time.
And boom. That's going to be, and it's just a little rope-a-dope here. Everyone's going to discredit the Oilers going into
You
next
guys,
year. And
you
they're going to
guys.
come out and they're just going to roll everyone. They just want to take a little time off this year. They just want to relax, get that big player on the ELC, help the cap,
What an epiphany!
and boom, they're all set.
What an epiphany!
That's what it comes down to.
They don't have to worry about trading anybody.
No,
They don't have to do anything.
they
Just gotta
want.
sacrifice
There's-
one year.
I don't know who's in the draft, but there's someone they're targeting.
Oh man!
And the whole team agreed to it. They're like, we're going to get that player.
gonna- yeah.
Because that player is going to, that is the missing piece.
It's not Bo Aki.
Oh, Akey, he's hurt.
Well, he's a
he's
prospect
hurt
already.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he's
No,
hurt
this
now.
is somebody that isn't
No,
even
we're
on the
like, this is-
organization
okay.
yet.
I got to go
That's
check
what
out
it is.
the rankings right now.
There's someone there.
Craig, if you're listening, can you send me those rankings, please?
That's who they're looking at.
Boom.
Connor, Leon, Nuge, Nurse.
Like,
they all
that's
came
the-
together
that's
and
the
said,
guy.
this is the missing piece. They took it to Holland. Holland's like, you're right. Let's do this.
Holland said, I can't do it. Send it to Jackson.
I can forward that email. T-Mac, the rugby guy, via the Paris Jewelers inbox. This one made me giggle.
The most given expletive moment from Bouch was arguing the penalty he got.
Man, the ref saved Bouch's bacon on that. In calling him the flop,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't know if that was a flop.
Yeah.
He had him horse collared around his neck
Yeah, he did.
because he lost a battle.
I think that was a reputation penalty for Lomberg.
for sure it was,
Yeah.
but like, man, that looked bad.
Hontorio Moms adds, why is no one talking about Zero Holland's picks making an impact? That's why Wright had a big see ya immediately.
0 of his picks.
Well,
So who are
Holloway,
his
before he
picks?
got hurt, was playing good.
Yeah.
He would look like he was turning a corner, finally, which is nice. Then he got hurt. Broberg, not happening. Who else did he pick?
Does Broberg just need to get stronger? Is that what it is?
I don't know, man, but he tripped over a stick that was on the ice. That
Yeah,
was not good.
But I also saw him flying around the ice yesterday too. There's a few moments in the game where he grabbed the puck and he skated the way he's supposed to, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, that's why they picked him."
Mm-hmm.
So does he have to get stronger? Is that what it is? Like,
Yeah, he's lanky still.
he still looks
Pretty-
like he's
pretty
12.
Yep. He's got some attitude. Like, he gets mad. He's got the scowl on his face at times. Leave that dude alone. Sometimes I'm in the locker room, like, I'm just going to leave him alone. No need. I used to chat with him.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's
no,
the whole
no.
George Costanza, isn't it? Just look frustrated and everyone thinks you're busy and
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
that's what
always
he's
look
doing.
like you're.
This is the EST
And then they
Hangout
leave you.
presented by Mott's Clamato, Caesar Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle with you here. Only 30 minutes left in the Hangout today. It's been flying by. There's been a lot to discuss. Just quickly to switch to some footballs.
You know,
Start with Grey Cup. You watch it?
I watched a little bit. Yeah,
What'd you think of what you saw?
I thought it was a good product. It was actually a really good game.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I actually almost forgot. Then I was like, wait, the Grey Cup's on. I got to turn this thing on. Had it on the background. It's like, you know what? Like, if the Grey Cup can do that,
3 straight
or
years
the
they've had that.
CFL can do stuff like that, where their games, like the regular season games, are more like that, you'll have more people.
This year they had
year
that
was
a little
good.
more. This year the entertainment came up. Last year, no. I like last year it
Yeah.
wasn't there as much. This year, I think more often than not, we saw games closer to that. Now that was start to finish,
That was
kickoff to final
unbelievable.
whistle, just a solid football
Yeah.
game. But I think this year we saw the entertainment come back up a little bit in the Canadian football.
Well,
league.
it was good. And then they had Green Day. And
were
I
great.
turned around and I asked my wife, I'm like, is Green Day a bigger band than Nickelback? And she goes, yes. And then
Absolutely.
I laughed and I said, so the NHL is bigger than the CFL and they've defaulted to Nickelback.
Well, they had Green Day.
Yeah, this is
They've
the best
had
part.
Green Day. Green Day was hired for
What?
2 years.
Yeah,
Green Day was hired for 2 years
Like
to be
the
the
band.
official band of the NHL, basically. They went to an all-star game. The NHL told them you can't swear. What do they do when they go out there? They swear multiple times on the
Which
broadcast.
they did on
and
Sunday.
we've never seen them back with the NHL again. But it was like a 2-year deal they signed with Green Day. And I think Green Day was supposed to like do an anthem for the NHL or something. And they just moved on from it. And then the NACFL goes, we'll take Green Day.
Hell yeah.
Put on a great show. They swore.
Go for it.
But that's if
They're
you're going to
embracing it.
hire Green Day and you don't expect them to
yeah.
swear, like I know if you talk to punk fans and stuff, they're not exactly going to claim Green Day is really punk type thing in a way. I think I'd have to ask Eric better on this, but I think when they first came out with Dookie and stuff, they
Yeah.
were kind of punk, like in that realm.
American Idiot
That's
made them
what-
like pop.
That's what they're going to do, though. They're going to be those guys. They're going to push a little bit and swear. But no,
cares?
the NHL
Just let 'em go.
They swore. Gary Bettman got mad, and they were gone. I got to
Don't
find
do that.
Like, get out of
NHL
here,
had them.
Gary.
Now, is Nickelback bigger than Green Day, though? That's a
I think
it's
legacy wise,
close.
I think Green Day takes it.
Poll.
they've had.
We need
Poll.
a poll.
Let's do it.
I can't do that on here. I'd have to get someone else to do it. I could throw it on Twitter. I'll throw it on Twitter right
Throw
away.
it
here.
on Twitter.
I
need a
want to
poll.
find the Green Day thing, though, with the NHL.
That's so outrageous to me. Like,
Because-
NHL just
Oh, I think they took it off their website. The
meat
NHL.
balls.
Oh, NHL Green Day announced 2-year partnership. Group will headline All-Star Game Entertainment, provide opening theme song for Wednesday Night Hockey. September
didn't happen.
30th, 2019. They came out, they swore in that first All-Star game. We've
And then
never seen them again.
Yeah.
So the
That's
NHL got
wild.
all, the Rolling Stones article. Watch Green Day's expletive-filled NHL All-Star Game performance. And
I
yeah,
respect
never
that.
showed up.
At least they didn't have a Janet Jackson moment.
Yeah.
Right.
What would the NHL do if they had that?
They wouldn't know what they're doing.
No.
They would be.
They would shut down the broadcast. Eh?
The league would
it's
fold.
over.
The
It's
league's
over.
done. We can't do this
We can't do
anymore.
it. We don't know what to do.
Just full panic in the NHL.
Oh man.
So what are we asking? Who's bigger?
Yeah.
Who's bigger globally?
Yeah.
Now, for
Full.
Wednesday night hockey,
Green-
we need an NHL equivalent to Carrie Underwood,
I agree.
who's got great legs and a booming voice, and is
For what?
renowned
For Wednesday night hockey? Or for what?
Yeah, Wednesday night hockey, hockey night, whatever. Saturday hockey.
Well, who did Carrie Underwood replace on Sunday Night Football?
I have no idea.
Faith Hill?
No, it was
Wasn't
the
it?
Faith Hill, yeah.
Was it Faith Hill?
I think
or
it was
no,
Faith
wasn't
Hill.
it like Tim McGraw or something?
No,
there
there
was a country guy on Sunday Night Football.
I think you're thinking Hank Williams for Monday Night Football.
Was it Monday night?
I think Faith Hill did the Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
She was that one. So maybe it's her.
She's lovely. And it can't be the rec laws because that's the CFL's default.
I love the rec laws. That was great when the CFL pushed the rec laws for 2 years down our darn throats. It was awesome. Actually, one of my favorite parts of 1260 was we added it into our system. Every so often, I'd just play a rec log song just for Eric and JMO. That was it. And like, it was just to annoy them. We had a lot of fun. We just pull out the rec laws every so often. Long live the night. Oh man, that was terrible. I'll set it
yeah,
for
that's
one day.
bad.
Who's bigger globally? Green Day, Nickelback. I'll tag you guys both in it just
Thank you.
so we
Thank you.
have. And I'm intrigued by the
I'm
results.
very curious on this
I
one.
know.
Yeah.
Green Day,
Mike
Nickelback
Texan
post.
says,
on
"Hey-
Twitter.
Hey,
Please
gents, did you guys talk about Halak? Ignore if you have. Thanks, Mike.
We're
Mike,
ignoring.
Yeah, well, Jerry Halek is not the answer.
Don't call him out that. That's just mean.
Oh, Lance. Lance says Green Day is drastically better than Nickelback.
That's not the question.
Yeah.
Good
That is
point.
not the question.
Who's bigger
bigger?
is the question. Who's got the bigger act type thing? Who's going to be,
Global
I guess,
impact?
more popular, if you will? Which also I think Green Day would want to lose this to a degree.
Why?
It's that punk world. You don't want to be fully loved.
Fair
Right?
enough,
Like,
fair
it's you
enough.
don't want to. If you're mainstream, you're not like, are you really punk then at that
Yeah,
point?
but they've been mainstream for
I
a
know.
long
American
time.
Idiot is
Yeah.
really when they went full mainstream. So we'll see how that poll fully goes there. Your Dolphins pulled out the dub.
Fins up.
Yeah. Everybody's telling me that Tua played bad, but he threw for 325 and 2 touchdowns. 2 tutties, actually. Let me rephrase
I like that.
Yeah. 2 tutties.
Tutties.
Yeah.
Bones Texan.
7-3, baby.
Ed Sullivan made the Stones sing, "Let's spend some time together" instead of "Let's spend the night together." That had to have been, what, the 60s?
There's that whole Krusty the Clown, Red Hot Chili Peppers scene where it was he wanted them to change their lyrics and he says, "I want to hug and kiss you," and they're like, "That's way better. People really are going to enjoy that one. That's something everyone could enjoy." And that's what Gary Bettman tried doing with Green Day, but
Yeah.
instead of having we could do that, Green Day went, "Watch this," which didn't go well. No, honestly though, like between you and I, 2-3 lost clubs. That's it. 31st is going to be a fun game.
It's gonna be a really good
that
game.
could, depending on how the next few weeks go,
The division. Or no, the conference. The
It
conference,
could
yeah.
be. And that's going to make that even more fun
I know.
between you and I.
It's gonna be good.
So I feel pretty good that we both should be in the playoffs at least, which is always the most enjoyable
That's
thing.
what
That's all
matters.
you want to be.
The Dolphins D is starting to come around. Since they got Ramsey back, they have dropped the amount of points that are put up against them dramatically.
It's wild looking at the AFC and seeing Baltimore, KC 1-2, but then Jacksonville, Miami, then Cleveland and Houston, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You've got Jacksonville, Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh all right now sitting kind of in
It's
playoff
a
spots.
tough conference.
Yes.
The other conference is almost a layup at this point.
So this is the playoff teams right now, the other conference. Tell me who you'd be scared of right now. Philly, yes. Detroit, yes.
Yep.
49ers, yes.
Yep.
Saints, 5-5.
No.
Nope. Cowboys,
Nope.
I'd put them. I'd go.
Yeah,
yes.
their
I'd go-
defense is
they're a
really
little bit-
good.
You never know.
It depends on
Seahawks in
Dax.
6-4. They're not this like they're
not the Seahawks of old.
And Minnesota Vikings at 6-5.
Yeah,
and then the next team, so it's 6-5 is the last playoff team. 2 games up on the 8th team at 4-6 in the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Like, and somebody has to come through. Like, only one team gets to come through in the NFC, and all those other teams in the AFC: Baltimore, KC, Jacksonville, Miami, Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo's not even there.
I know.
They'll get there.
All right.
They'll be in there eventually. Someone will
You
come
think
out.
they
Buffalo
will?
will. They're too good not to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they got Josh Allen.
Who's a good quarterback.
Josh Allen is like
He'll get you playoffs.
he's the definition of a bowl of jelly.
Oh.
He's all over the place.
Okay, but
Because he's going to cost you. He's going to cost you with his attitude at some point. He's going to cost you by throwing a ridiculous interception at some point. But when he's hot,
He's great.
He's unbelievable.
Here's the thing with Josh Allen that he doesn't do enough right now in the regular season and run. His legs are important to him.
Yeah.
But they're trying to save him for playoffs. So at some point in this next month, they're going to start having him run more because they need him to run more. And they're going to get into the playoffs.
Fair.
Are they going to win the Super Bowl? Are they going to get to a Super Bowl? That's where maybe I agree.
because
That I don't think they
Diggs hates him.
Yeah, it's never good.
That's never good.
Your receiver and your quarterback
Yeah.
need to be on the same page.
They need to be on, and I don't think they are.
It's like just Cody Fajardo, Tyson Philpott are on the same page. And
Yeah.
like, boom, touchdown.
I saw a stat the other day where it was like the most roughing the passer calls for arguably the top 4 quarterbacks in the last couple eras. Tom Brady in 200 and some games only had 28 roughing the passer calls
Against them?
against him.
Wow.
That's it?
28.
Is that because
Aaron
he was so
Rodgers?
well protected? though?
Well, because partly Tom Brady was super smart too, and he
Yeah.
knew that if he was
Yeah.
going to get sacked, he'd just go down. Like he wouldn't try to run his way out of it
Right.
and
I'm
stuff
I'm
like that.
surprised there wasn't more. against
Aaron
him 'cause he's Tom Brady.
Rodgers was at like 136, and these aren't exact numbers, but they're as close as I can possibly remember. Rodgers was at like 136.
Oh, when I see these numbers and they're off, I'm going to be mad at you.
Please do. And I think he had 30.
Okay.
And then you had Patty Mahomes at 98 games and 28, sorry. And then Josh Allen was at 80 and he had
Games.
32. He had the most roughing the passer calls. And then, so I was like,
Part of
huh.
that is because he's a bigger boy. So he's
Is
a little
it?
harder to take down.
Or does he
So
complain
teams-
more about it?
Tom Brady complained a lot, and he didn't get the calls.
238 games, only 28 roughing the passers.
But he complained a lot. He was known as a whiner for that.
Squeaky wheel gets
So-
the grease.
I don't know. There's a thing where I could see that Josh Allen is so difficult to take down, bigger boy, that teams go a little harder on him, and the refs then pull up the flag.
I think guys go harder at him because of his attitude and the way he chirps. Like he just gives it to guys. Like you watch, like obviously our rivalry game is the Bills with the Finns.
Yep.
And him and Christian Wilkins, they go at each other all the time. And it's like to the point where like you see these like you can see them just jawing at each other, and guys are like, did that guy really just say that? And so then when they sack him, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna try to like put you down on the ground hard.
Here's the Dolphins' schedule the rest of the way. Jets this week. Commanders, Titans, Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. The next stretch is very simple. Like
Yeah.
you should be able to beat the Jets twice. You should be able to beat the Commanders and the Titans. Cowboys and Ravens will be difficult. We'll see what happens in those
Yep.
two. They could have division locked up by that Bills game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two games up right now. on
Do
the Bills.
you?
You're going to have a
Do-
big night when you face the Dolphins.
Oh,
your
absolutely.
Ravens.
I'll be
Yeah,
there.
you need
I'll be
to-
ready to
you
go.
need to
Tommy.
show up.
Me and the boys will show up.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna show.
better.
Where's that game too?
You guys are gonna bring
That
in Ray
game-
Lewis and Ed Reed and get the boys all fired up.
It's in Baltimore too. So we
Double
got the whole,
zeros,
we've got
place
our
to
home
go.
crowd ready to go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's- We'll remember how we blew it last year to the Dolphins.
Good.
And Tommy, you don't have to worry about our Ravens, my team.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about us.
Well, you
We'll
better
be good.
have a good night that night.
But like, if you're the Dolphins, if there's a chance that you can knock the Bills out of the playoffs in that game, do you take it or do you risk going to the playoffs?
Well, I think if you take care of this upcoming stretch, and then you can win one of two against the Cowboys or the
Ravens.
Ravens, you've already got it locked up.
So, but do you take the chance to knock out the Bills of the playoffs, or do you rest?
Oh, if you're knocking the Bills out, yeah, you got to like line up and try to punt them right out of here.
'Cause that would be like if they get one of those last spots. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
That they get like you also have to go up against the Bills in the first playoff game.
I'm not worried about the Bills at home in Miami.
That's
Because Miami just does different things, right? They play at a certain time of the day so that the sun is on the opposing team's sideline.
playoffs is a little different.
It's still,
if you get them to the playoffs.
still hot.
Yeah.
You can do things to manipulate your home field advantage. But if the Dolphins
excited for the
have the
playoffs.
opportunity to knock the Bills out, they better be Jack Black with Baxter in Anchorman, and they better kick that thing as far as they possibly can.
But are you then not worried then focused on that too much, not ready for the playoffs?
That will be you focusing on playoffs.
Them not having to be home.
Killer
Like if
instinct.
the Bills
Killer
can't
instinct.
get like, well, it's gonna be tough for them to get a home playoff date now. That's one of the advantages.
And
they
that's the
have
biggest. That's
is
a massive advantage.
You have to go to
Yeah.
Buffalo in the cold.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage, and now they have to go on the road. That's
Yeah.
going to make things a lot more difficult for the Bills to want to have some success. What are you laughing at? Over
The Green Day Nickelback stuff.
yeah,
I agree with everything you guys are saying NFL wise, but Chris from Red Deer says Dookie sold more copies than American Idiot. Another text says Deadpool settled the Nickelback argument years ago. Nickelback, one of the greatest bands of all time. YouTube Deadpool Nickelback video, and he fires straight facts to feed Savage.
Nobody said that Nickelback wasn't good.
we're not. That's
Yeah,
not. That's
that's
the
not
question.
even-
It's
yeah.
not a who's better. It's who's bigger.
Yeah.
Who's more globally loved? I
Recognized.
guess
Yeah.
recognized. Right now, 113 votes. 57% saying Green Day, 43 for Nickelback.
Okay.
It started off more Green Day. It's coming down. Nickelback
down?
crowd is.
Yeah.
Hannah Alberta's really jumping on board in this, pushing this vote. But
Yeah.
Lance is salty with me right now. Apparently, I
Uh-oh.
didn't
Why? What
read
did
his
you do?
text
Uh-oh.
properly. For Lance.
I like the clearing of the throat.
Yeah. Green Day is drastically bigger than Nickelback, both in album sales. Green Day had a Broadway musical. I said bigger, not better. Read my whole text properly, Tom. Don't misquote me. Lance, for you, anything.
Well, if you read it wrong, I'm on Lance's side there.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, it's right there. You're reading his text right now.
Kid can't even read.
Jeez, now I'm gonna have to look up Lance to settle this. Who's right and who's wrong in this? Let me
Pull
go
it.
into the. I'm
Another
pulling
text
it.
says Green Day 75 million albums sold. Nickelback 50 mil. Both very impressive.
So that
Actually,
first
very
text
good, yeah.
was bigger. Yeah.
Come on, Tommy.
I reread it for Lance.
Figure it out.
But
man.
it's I'm on Lance's side on that one.
Okay, whatever.
Because there is a big difference between bigger and better in this discussion. In
So
this specific
sober up, Tommy.
defense
God.
discussion.
Tomato,
So
tomato, potato,
it's
potato.
not in this discussion. Green Day went up 1%, 58%
Boom.
for Green Day. Reminder for those Nasty Club annual members, I sent an email yesterday in terms of claiming pickup or shipping. The shipping, we're still trying to figure out that part of it. I'll hopefully get that sorted out today. But then our stuff should come. Well, we got the first part of the pack, this merch today over the next few days. And maybe by Monday or so, we'll have everything here. I'll sort it all. It'll be ready for you. All of that thanks to our official merch partner, The Hive Product Marketing, and the store orders just went in this past weekend. So for those that purchased on our store, that's coming in about mid-December or so.
And thank you.
Thank you to The Hive Product Marketing for all your hard work with that and Chelsea there. If you're looking for any promotional items, check out thehiveproductmarketing.com. I would like to see Green Day live. That's one that
It'd be cool.
I like their old stuff. Like
Yeah.
they were one of my first CDs ever bought.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It's too bad that Rogers isn't bringing in the same amount of acts as they used to try to do.
Actually, you want to know something? It is, and I wonder
Are
if
they
it's
coming back around because of
No,
COVID's done?
I think
It's
it's.
been
I
busy.
think it's been. I
Really?
think. It,
Yeah.
I think it quiets though, and I wonder if it's because expected Oilers playoffs, right? And you don't want to eat up dates.
Well, not so much anymore.
But like, I'll skip this year or the rest of this year. Actually, I'll start in December once my app opens here.
Do you remember like when Radomski was in charge of like bringing in all the
Yeah.
acts? right
Dahmer
before?
was great.
Man, that place was buzzing every other week.
So there's no concerts in December.
At
There is
all?
no.
There was like seven in
Cirque du
a
Soleil
2
is
week
there.
span.
There's 5 Oil Kings and 5 Oiler games, and then at the end of the month there is Cirque du Soleil for 5
Oh,
days.
that'll be cool.
Yep.
January.
seeing that.
I'm
I got
looking,
tickets.
and this is Rogers Place app I'm looking at. So if I'm
Okay.
seeing something wrong, blame them. Nothing.
Yes, blame them.
I got it. Well, it's their app. You know, it's not
their
my
app.
fault.
It's not our fault
Update
here.
it. I passed the buck very easily.
Yeah.
January, no concerts.
At all?
Oilers play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Oil Kings play 5 times. February, 1 show, City in Color and Nathaniel Ratcliffe are in town. That's it. Otherwise, there's 4 Oil King games and 5 Oiler games in that month. March, you've got Blake Shelton, you've got Journey, you've got Harlem Globetrotters, and you got Noah Kahan or something. Trev knows who that one is.
Kahan.
And that's it. You got a bunch of Oiler games and some Oil Kings games. Oil Kings play till the 24th of March. That seems late, WHL season. Actually, I feel like that was cool. That feels a little late. Okay. April, only Oilers, nothing else. May,
For like what, 2 games?
5 games. Journey or a Foreigner in May. That's it. There's nothing else scheduled in May.
Hey,
one event
Foreigner
right
would
now.
be great.
But one date being filled in May right now, as of right now.
I thought.
June, absolutely nothing.
Wow.
July, nothing. August, nothing. September, Canadian Country Music Awards are in town. October has Jordan Davis. November has Zach Bryan, Bruce Springsteen, 3 straight days, and that's it.
Who's
There's
Zach
not
Bryan?
a lot
Awful.
happening in Rogers over the next, right now, year.
The last
That
2
is
weeks were
awful.
unreal.
And now I wonder again if part of that is you don't want to fill up some dates because you thought Oilers playoffs and
Work around
doing
them.
that. But yeah, there's a lot of empty months right now at Rogers Place.
That sucks.
So
It used to be hot. Like,
Well,
Yes.
2 weeks ago it was hot. Yeah,
Yes.
Kiss. You had some other rapper that was in there. Then you had Shania Twain, and then you had wasn't there a country guy that was in there? Like it was just hot. Every second night there was a concert, and then there'd be a game, Oil Kings or Oilers, and be a concert. Like the last couple of weeks were just like rowdy around there.
Radomski used to send the alumni a list of the entire year of everything that was there. And they say, hey, you guys have the opportunity to get tickets before anybody else if you want them. But here's the list. And so you could go down and you're like, okay, well, I want loge tickets or whatever. Like it was the greatest setup ever.
That is pretty. But
and
Radomski's
it was like
great.
so jam packed. It was like at least 3 things every single month. And now you're talking about having basically 10 things over the course of a year and a half almost.
and I up to the playoffs too. I think they also don't want to fill dates because of the road games. Because last year there was a road game, I think in LA.
Yeah.
Shania Twain, I think, was in town for that one.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do a watch party inside. And so I wondered, like, it's like, well, we want to keep the dates because you need home and away for the rink for the Oilers because you want to fill the barn for the Oilers away playoff games too, but you really haven't booked any. Or maybe there's not a lot of touring acts right now coming through Canada. And it's just there's no one to pull to come to this because there's no band that's saying we're going to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal already. And Edmonton's like, yeah, we'll snag you in there as well.
Or you have all these wonderful little places that you have created for an entertainment district. Use those more. I get it because now the gate, the ability to sell 10,000 tickets inside the rink, you also get your concessions and all that kind of fun stuff. I get that part. But at the same time, okay, well, why not have a concert, but you still have the ability to get gate revenue using the fan parks outside. Use both of them. And then create a few other things.
They did do that. No, I forgot that's not on the schedule. I just realized PBR will be back. Or not PBR, Canadian Finals Rodeo will be there next year.
Oh,
so
right. That's what, 5
I forgot
days?
that one. That'll be a few days in November, I believe that
That's
one
cool
is.
that they brought it back.
They
like
do
that.
have the basketball 3-on-3 in the summer. I don't know if volleyball's coming back, but they did do the volleyball last year.
that was
there.
cool.
The beach volleyball event.
It was awesome.
It was wicked that they had to fence off the entire area because they don't want to clean the. From the pull back, pull back,
Tap the brakes.
pull back. It was a great event.
That's my guy. He's in Edmonton.
They do got they're getting the rink going though in the
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought they're
That's
doing like
cool.
an ice climbing in the fan park.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some winter thing happening.
There's a
out there
winter
or something.
festival there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
can't
love
wait.
doing that.
That'll be cool.
But yeah, concert wise, we're kind of
talk
a big venue, kind of quiet going.
You talk
into
about
this
the
year.
rink in the fan park or
Ice
inside the
District.
plaza?
The plaza.
Yeah.
that one's happening.
Sorry, OEG. My dog might have pooped a couple of times in the plaza. I tried to clean it up. As
Couple
best as possible.
landmines.
What do you mean you tried to clean it up?
I got as much of it as I could.
Did somebody step on it?
No, I hope
Did it
not.
freeze?
No, they put the stuff on it. I saw after.
Wait, did you do? Oh, so somebody had to do work because you didn't clean
I
up
cleaned.
enough. You didn't clean well.
No,
enough.
I did clean it. Penny was eating things she
I
wasn't.
feel like there's some holes in the story right now.
There are no holes.
Now this wasn't on the ice though, because
No. But Penny and I were watching the ice making process.
Okay.
Looks great.
So
We-
I just want to just check this. I got to
Yeah.
cross-reference this a little bit.
Please.
Okay.
So Walk and Penny.
Yeah.
Penny takes dump.
She didn't wait till we got to the park.
You apparently picked it up.
I picked all of
but
it
then
that
there
I
was
could
still
get.
a cleaning process that somebody else had to do.
Well, there was sprinkle the stuff on it. That's what happened.
Did you leave a log on the ground?
No.
So then how did they have to do that?
Penny was eating things she probably shouldn't have eaten.
Why did you feed her things she shouldn't have eaten?
I didn't. She's irresistible. It's hard to say no to her.
So you did. So you did feed something. You said no, I didn't. But she's irresistible.
Lots of holes in the
There's
I
story.
a
didn't
lot
want
coming.
her to eat it, but she did.
Did you
she
give it to
likes
her?
Doritos, okay?
Did you give it to her,
No.
Did you reach down at any point with an open hand?
or did she
with
get
a
into the
Dorito in it?
bag and take it?
Somebody might have fallen asleep, and the Doritos were on
So
the
just not
coffee
responsible
table,
at all.
and somebody maybe dipped into the Doritos because they saw how much someone was enjoying them.
Frozen Doritos?
Yeah.
What flavor?
Always. Cool Ranch.
Have you ever done the Doritos in the freezer?
I've heard about it. I've
think
never
this-
done it.
Give it a
though.
try.
The
It's
might
not
sweet
bad.
chili
have to-
heat
really?
might not have been good for her stomach.
She had sweet
I thought,
chili heat.
I thought you said it was Cool Ranch.
Well, there's 2 nights.
He crushed the Cool
so did
Ranch.
she eat 2 of them? She ate from 2 different bags?
Maybe.
How did you fall? How did you let this happen
I
twice?
got tired.
You let it happen twice though.
Were you
Yes.
boozing?
No.
So one night you fall asleep, she gets into the Doritos bag you left out,
Yeah.
and you didn't realize the second night, like, oh, I'm getting a little tired. Maybe I should put this Dorito bag away
thought
so
I
she
finished
doesn't get
them.
in. What do you mean you
There were
thought you
crumbs
finished
left.
them?
There was crumbs left.
Sweet chili heat.
Yeah, those weren't good for her stomach.
I'm gonna stick with like there's a lot
Lot
of
of
holes in this.
holes in the
Like there's
story.
a lot going on here that I
Penny
just
had a great 10 days at my
That
place.
poor dog.
well, and then the
had
poor
sweet chili
attendant has
heat
to
just
clean
dancing
it.
all through her
Like
stomach.
you couldn't
No,
go like
I
grab some
cleaned
snow and like no, clearly somebody else had it come.
Snow in the ice district where there is zero snow.
There's
out.
snow somewhere. You couldn't grab
No.
some and put it on.
No. They did the thing.
What did they put? Did it on?
Like the
what was it?
de-icer.
Oh, so they de-iced her poop.
Yeah, they have to do it with people's puke because people go get absolutely annihilated at games, at concerts. And guess what? Instead of getting the pressure washer out there, we're throwing de-icer on everything.
So you want them to bring out the pressure washer
Yeah.
for Penny's poop?
Well, I mean, you're taking care of the puke
When
from
it
the
gets to
concerts and shows.
sub-zeros, sub-temperatures overnight, you want them to pressure wash everything.
Well, you can't. That's where you get the de-icer or the sand.
I'm
Hey.
so glad you don't have Penny right now.
Penny,
She's in better hands.
she's at Polly's place. There's grass
Okay,
everywhere.
that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Who was it? Savage at the Centric Casino yesterday. He says he played ball hockey against Paulie.
Oh, yeah.
This past weekend and had a big save against the team.
Polly skipped ice hockey, real hockey, to go play ball hockey this past weekend.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like ball hockey's for people who don't skate well.
Tell me really what you feel.
Do you not play ball hockey?
No, I have bad knees. I'd rather skate.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious to see how you feel. Can
I
you-
just told you how I feel.
I felt like you kind of held back.
I feel like ball
So why
hockey.
did Paulie go with ball hockey, not ice hockey? Like
We're
what's
not
the-
getting into that's a conversation. You know how I feel about my youngest
we're just
brother.
trying to needle it. Oh,
Why-
no,
why-
I don't. Tell me.
I love him,
like-
but he's a little baby.
But if he enjoys ball hockey more, shouldn't he go and do what he enjoys more?
No, he should play ice hockey on Friday nights.
You did. Oh yeah, you
Where's
did
the
too.
brotherly support and love?
I support and love him.
Support
Like-
him with what he wants to do.
He should be wanting to do ice hockey over ball hockey.
Or maybe you should be wanting to try ball hockey again and
I
test your
tried
knees
it.
out.
My knee was almost
Keep
blown
trying it.
out.
That's fair. Maybe you're working too hard.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Maybe you got to like tone it down a level or two.
Where, on ice hockey?
No, ball hockey.
No, I just don't play it.
That's fair. Just be goaltender.
For
so you
guys
don't
who
have to
can't
run.
skate well.
So if Paulie chooses ball hockey over ice hockey, what does that say about his abilities?
Soft.
Canada, Jamaica today, by the way, coming up 5 o'clock. Canada draws or wins. We're going to Copa America next year, which
Let's
means
get that
patio
aggregate.
beers to cheer on Canada in soccer next year, where they could potentially take on like Brazil or Argentina or
amazing. I
something.
love it.
Canada versus like Lionel Messi. Davies
do it.
versus
That'd be
Messi.
wicked.
Didn't
And
he
right?
retire from national team though?
I think he said he's not going to play in the next World Cup.
Oh, okay.
But he's been playing with them in World Cup qualifying this year. Don't talk to Hernan about Chile's World Cup qualifying right now.
Okay.
But so that, I think he'll be at Copa America next year to defend their title. And then I think the draw for that actually will take place in a couple of weeks. So we'll know if Canada gets that draw today in Toronto, which Toronto, good job showing up. Not really. It's one of those things where then we're going to see who is in Canada's group, and it's going to be fun.
that'll be
Even
good.
if Brazil, how great would that be?
That'd be
Canada's
awesome.
going up
Is
against
Hernan just losing his mind right now?
They're a mess, Chile.
That's awesome.
Just a mess. So
I'm curious, how's Ronaldo doing right now in Saudi?
no one cares. It's Saudi.
Yeah.
No one cares.
I watched him take the ball all the way from his side of half, uncontested, and then right to the penalty area, and then just rifle it home, and he starts laughing. I was like, oh.
He's been scoring with Portugal still. So credit to
Yeah.
him on that. But no one cares about Saudis. Like that league. No one cares.
He's just making so much money that it's
So many other players have followed
He's
suit, and
probably
no one
giggling.
cares.
Yeah.
Basically PR.
he's just giggling himself to sleep with all the money.
I would be.
You had something you want to read there? Or?
No, it's not.
Perfect. Well, we're done here on the Hangout for today. The EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop. The reunion, I should say, of Dusty and Huss, both regaling us with tales of their time in Hamilton. And Huss, I don't know if you'll want to talk about Grey Cup or not. But
We're calling it Coupe Gris, and Vert
Coupe de la
Jour played the halftime show. Just to make
I'll
sure
update that. Noon, by the way, we will have two guys and a goalie unless our internet craps out again. Gager, Cass, and Nilsson as they'll continue to go over the Oilers' loss from yesterday and what they do moving forward. Green Day, 59% of the vote out of 287 are bigger globally than Nickelback at 41%. Sean, it was great having you in once again.
Always
this was
a pleasure.
fun chat.
Always a
Tommy, it's
pleasure.
good seeing you.
Always a pleasure.
Don't keep
As
those
well.
Doritos out. I'm Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout. For those listening on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or on TuneIn, just keep listening. He'll Whale and the Wolf, and then we'll get to the Lock Shop coming up very shortly. And for those on YouTube, hopefully everything works properly, and we'll redirect you to Lock Shop. That's coming up next right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Again, Lock Shop in mere minutes. Thanks for tuning in.